next Tuesday. Every single Tuesday, I am back, guys. I will see you then. Love you all. Yo, what is up, guys? Welcome to a special, I want to say a special midnight TisaTellss, but y'all know I'm always on here doing stuff late and whatever. Welcome. Hey, hold on. Let me shut this down. I'm listening to myself. Y'all ready for this? Listen, Falynn agreed to come on. There have been rumors swirling around. We getting to the bottom of this, but I forgot my earrings. Oh no. Hold on, y'all. I'll be right back. Don't go anywhere, right? Oh, here they are. All right, Miss Pina is coming on, and I just saw her. She looks drop dead gorgeous. Yo, I see why Falynn don't got no problem having a baby, because she bounced right back. Literally, if everybody could look like that after having a baby, the world would be overpopulated right now. Y'all, listen, I'm going to ask Falynn questions in the comments too. Let me know. B, thank you so much. What's up, Rim? Thank you so much, y'all, in the comments. Let me know what questions you have for Falynn. Let me know what questions you have for Falynn. And we're going to do a Q&A at the end if she don't hang up the phone. If she doesn't hang up the phone, right? Yo, we getting into it. While we're waiting for Falynn to actually join us, how pretty does she look? I really like those space buns. I literally was like in the mirror, like maybe if I park my hair in the middle, y'all might see me on space buns next. I might do a Portia Williams and literally copy her space buns and then be sitting there like, how's baby Emma doing? That's one of the questions I'm bringing up. I really want to know how she feels about that. What else are we doing? Let me wipe my screen, try to be presentable for Falynn. Y'all, what questions y'all got, right? It's gonna be good. I told her I'm being the devil tonight. I'm so happy she's coming. We got it in our claws. And unlike before when Falynn was my first interview, Falynn was the very first person I ever interviewed. She was so nice and sweet. But now that I know what's going, I'm locking and loading. I even got my sparkling water. Ooh, Rim, thank you. Y'all hit the like button. It's 417 people in here, and we are just waiting for Falynn to mosey on out here. Okay, hold on. So she'll be on in a second. Oh, thank you so much. Okay, so listen. Okay, so listen. What questions do you guys have? Hold on one second, B. I'll try. So what questions do you guys have? Young, rich, and skinny. What is you? Girl, listen. Hold on. Let's slow this down a little bit. Let's see. Hit the like button. This chat is moving so fast. What's up? Hey, Tasha, what's going on? Listen, we leaving it all in the dungeon to quote. Listen, I even got questions ready, and you know I'm ready for this because you know I don't take questions for anything. Anyone that regularly watches my channel knows I think of things off the top of my head. And truth be told, this is just me playing Connect Four because I'm trying to look like a real journalist. Let's see if Falynn wants to stop in. Right? Thank you for calling the Federal Bureau of Investigations. How may I help you? Y'all, this is going to be good. This is going to be good. Also, while we're waiting, you guys, I did a book review for The Pursuit of Portia. I also have a video up about Nene and her new love. Falynn's going to be joining us in a few minutes. I also have a video about Nene and who she may be dating, but I want y'all to see the evidence and see what y'all think. But let's get back to Miss Falynn. Let me read this chat to actually see who, right? Thank you, Goodness Brown. Let me read this chat to actually see if y'all have any questions. Let me know if y'all have any questions. Yes, that's a good question. Let me know. B says, "Oh, you're a lemon character and baby lemon jumping to do a high five. Let's get this going." All right, Falynn's going to be joining us. What questions do you guys have? Because I'll ask them, right? Don't ask anything with curse words in it. But if it's like a respectable, no, if it's a messy question, crouched in niceness, I'll ask it. At the end of it, before she goes, we're going to take questions from y'all too. Let me tell y'all something. I got my mods on ready. Just be respectful. Y'all know what it is. We can ask questions, we can be messy, but don't y'all come up here embarrassing me, okay? And if y'all know what to do, right? But ask the questions. That's what I want you guys to do. Ask the questions, but let's keep curse words out of it and don't get vulgar. Come on. Like literally act like you asking a messy question to like your best friend's grandmother. Do you know what I'm saying? Be respectful. There we go. Listen. Ooh, that's a good question, Jacob. All right. All right. I like that. I like that. I like that. Love that. Okay. What else you got for me? Let's go. I got a few things, right? When did they officially become a couple? All right. I see a lot of you guys are you know what? I'm going to have is Fallon on here yet? I'm going to have Fallon break down a timeline. We're going to actually get a timeline because I feel like before I was disjointed. She had pregnancy brain. She had excuse. I'm always ADHD. Fallon had pregnancy brain. And it was for like all our interviews were last second. We actually going to get a real timeline this time. Okay. A win. Yes. We're going to get a real timeline. What else we doing? What else are we doing? Hold on. Oh, speak of the devil. Okay, y'all ready? Shh. Fallon's about to join us. Y'all act right in the chats. Don't embarrass me. Let's not have her hang up after 5 minutes. Cause you know we're gonna go. Hold on. Don't embarrass me yet. Wait till the end. Put your questions in. No curse words. Don't be vulgar, but we gonna be messy. Y'all know what to do. Act like you asking somebody's grandmother some messy questions. All right. So shh. Here she come. Hold on. Hold on. Hello, Falynn Pina. Where's Falynn at? Hello, Falynn Pina. What's going on? Hi, Falynn.
Hi.
Welcome to TisaTellss Federal Bureau of Investigations. How are you tonight? Welcome. Let's lock the interrogation room. Get the bat and the brass knuckles. We going in tonight. Falynn, first of all, girl, you look absolutely gorgeous. I was just saying because I was watching your live. I see why you don't got no problem having a baby because your bounce back game, you are glowing and you literally look like you're 16. You look gorgeous, Falynn. You look gorgeous pregnant. You looked gorgeous pregnant, but I think we kind of like forgot, you know, and now you came back like, okay, we're uploading. Listen, Falynn, you feeling good? You got water?
I'm feeling amazing. I don't got no water, but I got a little brown stuff in this cup.
That's even better. That's even better. All right. That's even better. Listen, Falynn, I gotta ask, right? There's a lot of talk in these YouTube streets and also on Instagram, right? Is Simon that baby's father?
Maybe I shouldn't have taken a sip when you asked that. No, absolutely not. Simon and I we started having problems in December, and we, not to give out too much TMI, but we stopped all of that in January.
You stopped all that in January, but I've been hearing that Simon, maybe he wants more publicity because he's been, from what I see, flopping on Portia's Family Matters, right? Dennis is the star of that show. I've been hearing whispers that Simon is thinking about getting a paternity test. How can you be sure? You said it's not January, but what about the way the baby? How can you be sure?
I'm very sure. If you guys will at some point see my daughter, but when you do, you will know for sure it is not his baby. No, okay. That is my daughter. That is Jalen's daughter, and there's no doubt about it.
So what I hear is the baby is beautiful, so there's no way it can be Simon's baby.
Ooh. Okay. I did not say it. You did.
So listen, you said that you guys stopped messing around early January, right?
Yeah.
Why don't you break the timeline down for us a little bit, right? Because there's a lot of confusion with that. So you guys stop messing around early January, right?
Mm-hmm.
You guys, but then you said you guys were going to counseling, right? Now I have my own interpretation of what you meant, but why don't you break that down for everybody? How you stopped messing around in January, but you were going to counseling in April, I believe.
Right. So Simon and I were going through. I don't know if people even know about this because I didn't know about it at that time. There is actually something called uncoupling therapy, so that people know how to or are capable of, married couples are capable of uncoupling without destroying one another. As you can see, it didn't work. On one end it did not work. But yes, we were uncoupling. We were going to uncoupling therapy. Now, in between of that uncoupling therapy, we still had moments where uh, Simon was still trying to reconcile. Believe it or not, he was.
Was
Yeah,
he?
yeah, he was trying to still reconcile and make the marriage work. However, you guys have to realize I was with Simon for 5 years. So
Okay.
I grew tired of the threats, constantly, especially after we got married, constantly saying, oh, if you don't do this, I'm going to divorce you. And then he'd throw up the prenuptial agreement in the big binder that we had. He'd throw it up in my face and be like, I'm going to divorce you, and things like
Mhm.
that. I grew tired of it. And I said, listen, if you're going to go, go. I'm done. Bye. After the millionth time, I said, bye. I'm done. And I think that was the only thing I was guilty of. But as it played out in the media, it's unfair because it played out in a way that it was portrayed in a way that's just not true.
Okay, so let's delve into what you just said. You said there were moments where he was trying to reconcile, right? Well, actually, let me roll it back a little bit more. I have heard that also, and the reason why I thought it was maybe the conscious uncoupling thing, because I know in the state of Georgia, you have to go to even court mandated counseling sessions before you can actually divorce. I know the Dream and Christina Milian, they had to go to like 4 sessions. Now you can go by who the court tells you to, or since you guys were already going, that probably fulfilled a requirement anyway. So, okay, so you're actually verifying, okay, fine, you guys were going to conscious uncoupling so you wouldn't actually destroy each other. And funny enough, it seems like he ended up destroying himself. But you said that there were moments where he was trying to reconcile. I
Yeah.
remember around that time he got new teeth. He was like, new person, who this? When were these moments that he was trying to reconcile? Can you give us anything just to make it a little bit more concrete?
Early March, specifically, early March, he was trying to reconcile. And I told him, that's so funny coming from you. It was pretty much no, but I had to dabble in it, me being me. I'm like,
Mm,
that's so rich coming from you after everything you've taken me through, and after me begging you to come home for the past few months, and me raising your children and mine. you know it's so rich coming from you. No. I didn't know. Even still, I didn't know I was pregnant at the time. But no, I would have said no anyway. No,
so
absolutely
around
not.
the time he got his new teeth, then he was still trying to reconcile with you?
Yeah, he FaceTimed me actually when he got his new teeth. And he was whispering. I knew he was with a woman. I knew he was already seeing women in January, but I knew he was with a woman because he was whispering on FaceTime, like, oh, look at my new teeth. And I told him, I said, he was still acting as if I was still his wife. He was still in that groove of things of me being his wife. So,
Yeah.
he called me to get my graces, and I let him know, like, I told you beforehand, you did not need veneers. Like, that's just not, I don't know what got over you, but that is not something that you need. That's fake, and you have beautiful teeth. I don't know why you would do that to your teeth. And I was very upset about it, but I was like, it's fine. If that's what you feel as though, I mean, I got boobs, so if that's what you feel as though makes you feel good, then that's fine. But he was whispering the whole time. And then when he pulled up back up to the house that we always rented, whenever we went to Costa Rica, then that's yeah, when he hung up with me. He was
Wait,
like,
so
"Yeah,
let me get this straight, just to make sure. So when he got his teeth, he actually FaceTimed you and was like, "What do you think?" And you was like, "Why'd you put those chiclets in your mouth?" And he was
yeah,
just like, "Whatever." And he was whispering, so you knew he was kind of with someone. And then when he pulled up to the rental y'all used to stay at in Costa Rica, that's when he hung up, right?
yeah, yeah."
Okay. Now here's the funny thing, right? Because you said a few things I want to get into. If this was in March, I also remember that Tasha K had this young woman on in March named Jessica Harris, right?
Yeah,
You might not
yeah.
know her name. She's like, she was blonde, very pale. Everybody thought she was white, but I was like, no, she's just light skinned. Come on, y'all. Right? Now he pulled up. He was in March. Jessica said that they were messing around. She also said that he was going around telling everybody a sob story while he was buying her and her girlfriends illicit narcotics and other stuff, right? You said that you were like, oh, I'd had enough and you were done. Was this a habit with Simon? And do you believe that girl, Jessica Harris, what she was saying that she had something with Simon and Simon gave her like 5 or 8,000?
Why would she lie? Yeah, absolutely. I believe her. He wasn't with me. He was out doing him. So of course, yes, I believe her 100%. Yeah, no, I mean, I think a lot of people, they compare the whole, me and Jalen together in our timeline and Simon and Portia and their timeline without remembering Simon was already in the blogs with a whole other woman before any of this ever really got out. We weren't open about our divorce. We Simon and I had verbally agreed that we were separating at some point. We were separating, we were done, and Simon was out here being messy. He was with, young chicks, and Jessica wasn't the first time I heard about a woman, by the time that did get out, but that was the one that got out the first, before Portia got out. So if y'all think for 1 second that my Taurus self is going to sit here and be like, oh, please come home and I'm not going to move on. No, I'm 30. I was 31 at that time. I'm 31. I am not about to sit here and beg you to come home and you out here doing you and not wearing your ring when you go out. He stopped wearing his ring in January when he went out to the clubs. It started out slowly but surely. And he wasn't doing all these things. I mean, it is what it is.
Mm.
You threatened me several hundred times, with divorce. You would always gladly hold up our prenuptial agreement in the black binder, whenever I didn't do something that you wanted. And I said by the 100th time, I don't even remember how many times. By that time, I said, you know what? You think that you're the only man who wants me. You think that you're the only man, who's wealthy or who can take care of me that wants me. Sweetheart, I am the man who's wealthy that can take care of me. I was a hustler before you. I'm going to be a hustler after you, and I don't need you. That's what you got messed up. So I said deuces. And whatever happened after that is what happened after that. Whatever he was doing after that is what he was doing. I have been very clear in the media that I do not believe that Simon was wrong. I don't believe in the timeline of him getting engaged to Portia. Is it crazy to people? Sure. Me getting pregnant, is it crazy to people? Sure. You have that right to believe that and to say that. I'm not holding that against anybody. You have that right to make that judgment because we are out here in the media. That is fine. But did I hold him in contempt for it? No. I think the media, what happened was, this is what happened. He
Mm.
came out in the media before even I did, because I didn't even know what was going on in my life yet. I was still going through a whole bunch. I was not here, okay? I was not clicking. I was going through a lot. But he came out in the media and said that he was engaged to my castmate. And then everybody else started all the fans and even people who weren't fans, who didn't even watch the show, started tearing him and Portia apart for going about it the way that they did and how soon that they did, especially not knowing what was going on behind closed doors, as they should. They don't know what's going on. People don't know what else is going on. They just see what you're showing them, and you're showing them that you and I are still married, and you decided to get divorced. I mean, you decided to get engaged to another woman. That's all they see. So they have the right to pick you apart the way that they did. And
Mhm.
because people started picking them apart the way that they did, he goes, "Oh, well, since you're gonna say this about me, this is what Falynn is doing." No, bitch.
Mm.
Don't throw me in your mess. I didn't do anything to you. You decided to leave, and I said deuces. Whatever I'm doing outside of you is none of your business, says every woman on this planet Earth who decides, you know what, I'm done. I am
Uh-huh.
done. Did I move on fast? Hell the fuck yeah. You know why? Because there was more than one motherfucker waiting on me. Sorry, I cursed. There's more than one person waiting on me. So, regardless of that and how we went about it, I am open. I will talk about it all day, every day. I don't have to bring up anybody else's name to do so because I'm true in whatever it is that I did, whether you favor it or not. And yeah, it's just it is what it is.
Okay, so I have a question since it is what it is, right? So, from what I understand what you said, you guys decided to break up in January. He was always holding a black binder over your head when you said whenever he you didn't do anything he didn't like. What
I
type of
was still
things
trying
would
to make my marriage work in January. Don't get me wrong. Simon
Mhm.
and I were in Costa Rica and New Orleans in January at the very, very end of the last week of
I saw
January.
those pictures on the
Yeah,
gram. Okay,
yeah.
yeah.
We were
I
trying to
saw
make it
the
work.
FBI agent. Yes.
Trying to make it work. Yeah, I was trying to make it work.
Okay.
And he was seeing what he could get out of me, I guess. Trying to do him and, have his cake and eat it too. I was trying to make it work still. I can speak on me. At the end of January, I was still
Was he
trying to
in the
make
house? Was he in the
huh?
house when you were trying to was he in the house when you were trying to make it work at the end of
Yes.
January?
Simon
Okay.
left. Simon left on Valentine's Day morning at 7:30 a.m. He woke up
Okay.
out of his sleep. He wakes up really early. He woke up out of his sleep and said, "You know what? I think I'm just going to take a drive. I don't know where I'm going to end up. Maybe Orlando." And then ended up calling me at 10:30 p.m. that same day on Valentine's Day and ended up in Miami. And he said, "You know what? I just ended up in Miami." He only had a little bag, I call it a hoe bag. He had his hoe bag, and he stayed at our condo.
Mm. He stayed in the condo. Now you listen, we're not gonna get messy, but if somebody made an expose, it's on my channel, watch it if you guys want, that showed that Portia and Shamia and Lauren were there at the same time. But let's bring this back, like you said. Let's take accountability because I like how you're on your grown woman is saying whatever happened after me and Simon decide to split. That's what it is. So what you're saying is you and Simon, before the world knew, had said for whatever reason, I'm done with this mess. You're done with this mess. Let's move on. Then Simon, you were supposed to announce it together. And then Simon got messy. And that's when Jessica Harris and a number of young women that you already knew about but didn't make the front page came
Right.
out. Now,
Right.
let's talk.
Absolutely.
Okay, so listen, I want to just roll it back a little bit, right? I have some questions, but you said something interesting. This black binder that he would hold over your head with the prenup, and I don't know why I just see him being like, "I'm a divorce. This is a prenup, I get nothing." I just see him holding that mess over your head.
Yeah.
Describe this really briefly. What type of stuff would bring the black binder out? Because to me, this sounds like some Silence of the Lambs. Because I couldn't take somebody seriously if they pulled a binder out. What type of stuff would bring the binder out?
Um, it just really depend. It really depends on what makes him feel emasculated. Um, at one point, it was he didn't bring it out; he just threatened it. Was
Okay.
when I had a girlfriend, and she would come over all the time. Not girlfriend. From those who want to twist my words, no, not girlfriend. I mean like girlfriend. Yeah. So I was really close with her, and she lived 3 minutes up the road. And when
Okay.
she was coming around like every single day, she was also our realtor who found our home. He was very familiar with her and her husband. She had a whole family, her child, everything. But whenever she got girl time, she was always so busy. But when she did get girl time, she lived 3 minutes up the road, and she would come
Mhm.
over anytime that she could to, have a glass of wine and things. And he got very upset at the fact that, I had a friend outside of him that he couldn't necessarily, I feel that he couldn't necessarily control. So um, it started there, like, oh, this is not how couples do. This is not how married couples do. I love the fact that you're friends with a married person, because I wasn't allowed to be friends with people who were single. He wanted me to be friends with people who were married specifically. So he's
Mm.
like, I love the fact that you're friends with a married person. However, I just don't want her around like this or that, the third. And I'm like, okay, maybe I'm doing too much. Maybe he would always say, you have to set boundaries. And I said, okay, maybe I do love her too much because I don't have any friends outside of this. So maybe let me check myself. So then outside of that, it went from that to you're spending too much time with the children, not my children, his children, not just them, his children as well.
He said you
Yes.
were spending too much time with the children, which is all
Oh
your
yeah, no,
children,
I
correct?
wasn't allowed to spend too much time with his children, my children, any children. I was giving too much attention to his children and my children, to the children, period.
What?
I was doing too much. And I'm a very hands-on mommy. Like I love hearing them and listening to them talk as they grow into their teen years. So it was so cute. So I'm like, I'm the super mom. I am the super mom. So yeah, it got to a point where it was like, no, you're doing too much, with the children. I have needs to, he'd say things like that, like, I have needs to, and things in that nature.
So
Um, and
go on, I'm
then, and
sorry.
then, yeah, and then it got to the point where when Jalen came around, then it was like, let me bring out the black binder. The black binder says prenuptial agreement in like all big caps. It
Was
did. It was
it
like
written in crayon?
it did. It was
Or
ugly.
did you
Ugh.
write like this
Yes,
prenuptial and crayon?
nuptial agreement, and he would be like, because of course Jalen was a man. What man wants another man around?
Yeah.
Okay, I get it. But however, Jalen was my best friend, and Jalen saw things and recognized that certain things that he would say or do was abuse. Whereas me being in a narcissistic relationship, I didn't know half the
Mhm.
shit that he was talking about. I just thought, no, he's my husband and I have to respect him and his needs and his wants. And I got to a point where I started fighting him back on having Jen, who is my best friend at the time, having
Mhm.
her around and having Jalen around. It
Mm.
got to a point where I'm like, okay, now you're doing too much, and I'm gonna fight you back on it because I'm a Taurus, right?
Yeah.
I'm fighting him back, and the bull horns are coming out, and I'm like, no, you can't keep doing this. You
Mm.
can't keep me from my kids because I would consider his kids my kids as well. I'm like, you can't keep me from my kids. You can't keep me from my friends. It's not happening. And the
Mm.
more I pushed on it every single week, that's why our divorce happened so quickly, because the more I pushed on it every single week, the more it pushed him away from me. So I was like, no, you can't keep me from my girlfriend. No, you can't keep me from my best friend, who was also my assistant at the time. I'm like, no, you can't keep me from my children. No, they're my family. These are the loves of my life outside of you. And that's okay for me to have people to love outside of you.
Mm.
Um, and then it just got to a point where, it just kind of fell apart. I let it fall apart. I wasn't going to let him keep me from them anymore.
So let me get this straight. Like, I understand you're a Taurus, and like you said, most of my Taurus girlfriends, y'all like the turn up. However, if it comes between family and home and whatnot and the turn up, you'll always pick family and home. And you seem like a very, of course, loving and protective mom. So let me ask you this. right? What would you say, hypothetically speaking, if there was a woman who had stolen another woman's husband, right, publicly, and she had taken offense that when somebody said her daughter looked like the father with the bow on her head, right? If this is too amalgamous for people, let's say Portia. How do you feel about Portia Williams always bringing up your baby and bringing up your baby by name? To me, it seemed like somebody was trying to be antagonistic. I do remember that Portia lost her mind when Eva said that her daughter looked like her father, Dennis, with a bow. What do you feel about that? About you, yourself, but even more importantly, your daughter being brought up in interviews, seemingly completely off topic. Has that even reached you? Is this the first time you're hearing this? How do you
I'm
feel about that?
sorry. This is the first time I'm hearing this. I don't know anything about Simon and Portia, unless people tag me in it like 1,002 times. Because if I post on Instagram, I post and I go. Like I don't even. Sometimes I try to respond to my fans and my loved ones out there, but
Okay.
that's very rare. No, this is the first time
Okay.
I'm hearing it. So she's mentioning my child.
Well, yeah, see, I don't want to be the one to start mess. However, since it's the first time you're hearing this, I guess her plan didn't work. But she was on Watch What Happens Live with she was on Watch What Happens Live with Andy Cohen, and he was talking about the timeline when they met, and she was like, "Well, Fallon just had her baby Emma." She was on the Tamara Hall show. She was saying, "Baby Emma, baby Emma, baby Emma." Okay, she didn't say it 3 times, so it was Beetlejuice, but she did say, she just had a baby Emma, this and that. So to me, it seemed like she was throwing the baby up as a shield. And again, Portia's been real quick to say you guys weren't friends. From what I understand, there was some type of camaraderie there, as like at least a friendly coworker. And you guys, after what she did, is definitely not friends. So that's why I was wondering, how do you feel about her constantly mentioning your child?
uh, I, I mentioned that you would you would catch me off guard with something. I knew you would. Let me come politically correct because I'm from Norcross, Georgia, and I don't want that person to come out. So let me come politically correct. A lion does not acknowledge a sheep. And I've always said nothing but, I'm happy for her and her union. Don't get me twisted. Ever. Ever. Don't mention my child. Ever. You can say whatever you want to say. Anybody can say whatever they want to say about me. This is my career. I didn't choose it, but I was thrown into it and I ran with it. I made lemonade out of lemons. I get it. Cool. That's so be it. I'm as real as they come, but I'm too real. Okay? Don't
Mm,
mention my child.
okay. Well,
And we'll leave it at that.
okay. Enough said. Okay. So let's move on to happier topics. Let's sorry to listen. I'm sorry to perk the bull, but
I
I
mean, that
had
is
to
not. It's okay.
because I
Thank you
was
for
sitting there
telling me.
like literally.
Thank
But I'm sorry, I'm the one that had to be the one to tell you. But it's cool because uh, the good thing is it didn't work because you didn't even know about it. So never mind. Right?
I
Mission
thought
failed.
it because I'm genuinely happy for my ex-husband. I don't care what it looks like. I'm over it. I'm done. It's fine. It is
Yes.
absolutely fine with whatever he does with his life. If he wasn't happy with me and he's happy with someone else, great. If he's happy being alone, fantastic. I am not here to deflect because my shit is real. I don't use deflection as a tactic. I don't have to mention anyone else's name as a tactic for anything or for anything that I've ever done. I take full responsibility for any and everything I've ever done, sweetheart, because my anything that I've ever done is pure. Now, people may not like it, the fact that we were still legally married, but that's something that Simon and I decided that we were okay with verbally within our marriage up until we legally married. So that's
Mm,
fine. That's fine with me. Anything else outside of that, you don't got to do that. You don't got to do that. You don't got to mention nobody. If you're true and you're honest with yourself and your situation, if it's also honest and you're also in love or you're also moved on or whatever the case may be, you don't got to use nobody else's name to deflect. I don't. I'll mention my past experiences with him if I'm asked about it, absolutely, because you never know who I could be helping and that's who may be in the same situation. You never know, which is what I love doing. I love making women aware of what of the situation, especially being with the narcissist. I love it because I want them to be able to get out of that and to be
mm.
stronger and to grow. But don't get it twisted. I haven't said nothing negative about y'all, so don't get it twisted over here. I'm not the
Okay.
one.
Listen, I can understand that. So listen, since we're in the mess, let's go a little bit deeper, right? You're saying once you guys decided to separate, it was cool, right? Um, there were rumors and talking and some evidence that they had been beaten up at the St. Regis in the prior year. Looking back, right? Because here's the thing. I'm the type of person where I'll be like, no, what are you talking about? But then I'll sit there and be like, mother, literally my mind will start connecting dots, right? Like it's always sending in Philadelphia, the
Of
crime.
course.
You listen, and I know Tauruses do the same thing. Listen, looking back, did you ever have any inkling that something might have untowards might have been going on between your former castmate and your former husband?
Ooh, no.
No.
No. Like I said in my previous interview that I did in June, Simon told me in therapy, Simon doesn't get caught unless Simon wants to be caught. He came
Unless
out
I'm there.
Listen, he came out with the whole engagement of Portia because he wanted to be caught. He
Mm,
wanted that. So he let the world
okay.
know because he wanted to hurt me. Fine, I get it. I moved on and you was hurt, so you came out, you was hurt, they was hurt. It was a mess. It was a big mess. But no, I did not know. I had no idea. Simon's good at what he does. And also, I'm also not the type of woman because could I have put his fingerprint on his phone while he was asleep? Sure, because Simon, when he sleeps, he's dead. Okay, I could have been found out some things if I wanted to, but I didn't want to know. You know why? Because
Mm,
as someone who suffers from narcissistic abuse, there's something that goes on, that little voice in the back of our head that tells us something is going on and something
mhm.
is wrong. We just don't want to believe it. And I didn't want to believe it. I didn't want to know. So I knew something was going on, but I just, I didn't want to know. Did I know it was with her? Would I have ever guessed? No, especially
Why
because
not
he's
her?
so badly about her. No. But that was a tactic as well. So,
Well, but pause. You said he talked so badly about her. Describe that.
oh, he used to say specifically, these are words verbatim. Um, oh my God, who would want to wake up to that face? It's like a dog face. Who would want to wake up to that in the morning? Where to God? I put this on my mama's life. He used to say that every time we would watch, because we would watch Housewives, because I had never seen an episode of Housewives before I got in the show. So we would always watch it. We watched the last two seasons so that I can, brief myself on the show and what was going on before I joined. And he used to say that every single time we would watch him, like, oh my God, who would want to wake up to that dog face in the morning? Every single time that. And then he would say it's so crazy that that's when he told me that his cousin bought her Rolls Royce and he would dog her out for, sleeping with his cousin
He said
because
his
his cousin was
cousin.
married.
He said his cousin bought her the Rolls Royce.
Yeah.
Hmm. But the guy
I don't know
that
how
bought
true
Portia
it is.
the
I don't know nothing that comes out of his mouth, but that's what he
well,
said.
okay, so here's the thing. Again, if you believe he's well, not even a narc to someone, I guess that was his deflection to make you think that he could never, even though whatever. The guy that bought her the Rolls Royce isn't even from Nigeria. He is African, but he's not Nigerian. Does Simon have cousins that are not Nigerian but are African?
Yeah. Yeah, I believe so. Hmm.
Oh, okay. So maybe this is the same guy that Simon was talking about. All right, all right, all right. Sorry, I was talking about the shopping spree. That guy that bought her the car is Nigerian. Okay, fine, 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 fine. All right, that tracks. Simon was telling the truth that one time. So listen,
Maybe. I mean,
maybe, because I don't know if
they
that's his
used those
cousin.
things. Yeah, it's like he almost wanted to tell me that he was messing around with her, that he was interested in her without telling me. That's how I took it.
Yeah.
After all of this blew up, I'm like, ah. Because there were a couple of women. That wasn't the first time. There was a couple of women in Atlanta where he mentioned them, and it was like he was so obsessed with mentioning their name,
Mm-hmm.
that gold digger women in Atlanta that I know of. And he was so obsessed with mentioning their names, but in a very negative light. But
Mm-hmm.
as I'm finding out things in the street, I'm like, oh, I was so naive. I
Yeah.
was.
Here's the thing. You're not naive, but you mentioned that you went through narc abuse. I think a lot of people on this live look at narcissists as just somebody a bit of an asshole or somebody too much into themselves. Can you just briefly kind of describe what being a narc abuse survivor is and how, in a very brief way, if you can, it actually affects a person, both short term and long term?
Well, long term, it could affect not only you, but it can also affect your children. The things
Mm,
that you are used to. I'll give you not my children, because before it even got to my children, thank God I recognized it, or I learned about it.
mhm,
Going to therapy, it works, y'all. But in the media, specifically for me,
mhm,
I got to, if you guys have paid attention to anything that I've said, all my interviews and going back in the comments and whatnot, I have really been over explaining myself for certain
mhm,
things. That is actually a very big sign of narcissistic abuse. When you tend to feel the need to over explain yourself for a situation, like, oh no, but that's not what I meant. What happened was A, B, C, D, E, F, G. And because that happened, I felt this way and that way. And then this happened and then that happened. When you're sitting there and you start explaining yourself in this big, and then next thing you know, it's this big circle, that is actually a very big sign of
mm.
trauma and narcissistic abuse. Mm-hmm.
Gotcha.
And
So
I
how
noticed I was doing that.
okay? So how long were you guys together before you started realizing? Because some people can be like, oh, you should have known better, this and that. It's like, not to make comparisons, but what's going on with Khloe Kardashian and Tristan? Yeah, she's a big dum dum. Yeah, she should have known. Yeah, she was an asshole. But the more I hear about the story, the more I'm like, yo, Tristan sounds like a narcissist, because the point isn't to cheat, it's to humiliate, to hurt, to do these things.
Correct.
Now I know that I can't compare Simon and Tristan either look wise, money wise, or intelligence wise. However, when it comes to just being like a narcissist, when did you first start to realize, yo, something is very off? Like, this person is a dangerous person and I need to protect myself.
I didn't really recognize what to call it until after I was out of it. And that was after I moved out.
Okay.
But where I started noticing something is a little off was when nothing was going on between Jalen and I. Nothing was going on between my best friend and I. I'm not into girls. Like, and then he started just throwing out that prenuptial agreement all the time. And I'm like, I don't go out with my friends. That's the thing.
Mhm.
I did not go out with my friends. I always invited my friends to our home. So I'm sitting here inviting these people to my home to make you feel comfortable, making sure that you see everything, you know everything. The relationship between both of my friends are right here, about face, right in front of you.
Mm-hmm.
And yet you still have a problem with it? How
Mm.
so? My friends don't even make a boo or a ball without consulting you first. How
Mm.
is it that you feel so bothered by
Mm.
me having only two friends that I only invite out? If I invite them out, it's with me and Simon.
Mm. Okay, so he was definitely seems like he was super controlling, isolated you to the max. I know in our last interview you said that he didn't even really want you working, but then he would downplay the fact that you weren't working. Um,
Mhm.
with the kids, right? Because that's where I kind of focus on. I actually have been in touch with people that are family members from Simon's first and second marriage. And I will say that everybody has really, really good things to say about you. And listen, you got that sweet baby face. You're very, very polite. You're very elegant. So it's not like I was surprised, but usually when you talk to like other people, they like, yeah, that Falynn. Everybody had good things to say about you. The kids had a good relationship with you, and you were like a really good, earnest person. All right. He left on the 14th, right? I remember you saying that he left you with his children, but at that time you guys were a family, right? He
Mhm.
left you with his children, and of course, your children were there. How was he? Because how was he as a father? Did he check in on them? Did he often leave you with them when he decided to go off on his dalliances? Like, how did that dynamic work out?
No, no, he didn't check on them. If he checked on them, I checked him for not checking on them. No, he didn't.
Hmm.
I
So
just
he.
I would take them, and I was their mother, outside of their biological mother. We
Mm,
had an agreement. She loved me, I loved her. I mean, it was so much that we loved each other, the mothers, we loved each other so much to the point where I remember one time, um, his previous ex-wife and him were not speaking for years. And I told
mm,
him, this is not normal. Like, I can't do this. We're going to have to make this work, because I can't be married to you and my children don't, have this big family dynamic. They have people who love, multiple people who love them. They should know and they should feel that. So Simon agreed with me. So
mm,
I sat her down and I sat Simon down and I made them hash out their issues from their past at the dinner table. And when she was telling her story, I'm going to try not to get worked up now. When she was telling her story, it hurts me even more because I've been through it, the same as her. And I
oh.
loved Simon so much. I loved him so much, that it hurt my heart so much when she was telling the story at the dinner table. She sat there and she told me, she said, when they divorced, uh, Simon left. He was nowhere to be found, and that she was taking care of these two special needs children, which is easier to take care of when they're younger, believe it or not.
Mm,
But she's taking care of these special needs children by herself. And Simon was so, he had his issues with her and she had her issues with him. But the problem was that even though outside of their own issues, he couldn't get past what their issues were, egotistically. He has a very
mm,
big ego, if y'all can't tell. And so she got really worked up and she was very hurt while telling her story about how she had to save face for these boys and how she was the 24/7 parent. And then
mm,
in turn, I got worked up because I know what it feels like. And, I started tearing up. And I'll never forget that same night, Simon got very upset with me and he told me, that no, I'm sorry. He didn't tell me. We were talking to somebody else. I forget who the third party was. He was
mm,
explaining the whole thing, that the conversation that had happened earlier, and he said, and she has the nerve to get upset talking about me. Falynn has the nerve to get upset about her talking about his ex-wife, getting worked up and getting all upset about, me not being there or her telling the story. She was tearing up. And he looked at me as if I was a bad person for understanding and feeling what his ex-wife had been through from abandoning him essentially, or her feeling as if he abandoned her children. And I'll never forget it. From that day forward, I looked at him different. Of course, I wanted to
Mm,
make it work with my husband,
yeah.
but yeah, I started looking at him different from that point on, because I'm like, how could you not, after all these years, she finally sits down and she comes out and tells you what her problem was. She didn't even know why you divorced her. You just
Mhm.
left and ended up getting another woman pregnant. And while y'all were still together or
What?
married. Yeah, he had gotten another woman pregnant
The
while they were
Colombian
still
girl?
married, not together, married. He got her pregnant and then just ditched, as she felt, his children, and he's doing it again. I'm the one who enforced him to make sure that he went to court and
Mhm,
that he enforced and established his parenting time in court,
mhm,
because I'm like, listen, she deserves time with her children. You deserve time with your children. You guys live right up the street from one another. I wish I had what you guys have. I don't have that. You guys have such a special bond and a special thing between these children. You need to go to court and you need to say, hey, I want to be here for my kids. And I
mhm,
forced Simon to take her to court and her go to court, and she went to court. I knew she was a willing mother. She's a mother
mhm,
who wants children to have a bond with the father. I knew she wasn't going to fight on it. So I was
mhm,
like, go to court, something on paper to
mhm,
enforce him to do so. They went to court, and I'm like, get your kids. She have her kids. You have your kids. You guys have this great relationship. Let's do this together.
mhm.
And the judge ended up awarding them week on, week off. So it was perfect. I felt like, and this was my fault because I was so involved. I felt like it's perfect. She has them 1 week, he has them 1 week, and they live right up the road from one another because they
Mhm.
always wanted to live up the road from one another for the children. He just wasn't there. But I'm like, no, you're married, you have others, you have stepchildren, you for damn sure are going to be here for your kids.
Yeah.
If you're going to take care of my kids, you're going to take care of your kids.
Yeah.
So right. So they went to court, they got it, they hashed it out. And I mean, it wasn't always pretty, but they hashed it out, they worked it out, and it was week on, week off between both parents, and everything was great up until we got divorced. And I haven't talked to her since. I'll probably reach out to her at some point.
Yeah.
I wanted to not be pregnant,
Let me
but
let me ask you a question. You might not be aware, but and I just want to ask you, is this on brand for what you know of the man you were married with? She made a post saying that 2021 has been very traumatic for her children. They're both special needs. She found them regressing. She basically broke her lease, put everything in storage, had to borrow 5,000 to take them on she's very spiritual, on some type of retreat in Mexico to kind of ground the kids and center them. And a lot of people were saying, if Simon's supposed to be 100 million or 40 million, whatever it is, if you got 50 extra dollars in your pocket, why aren't you paying for these kids therapy? Or do you think that the kids are actually lying? Not kids, but do you think that she's actually lying about Simon not helping her out financially? Does this seem on brand that he would be so stingy with money that he wouldn't really invest in his kids, their special needs?
Simon invests in what he believes is valid. Simon will invest in his school, in the children's school.
Willie,
Um,
because he didn't pay for his first two kids' college education. So will he?
um, He pays for them, or he did pay for them. While he, hmm, let me, he told me that he paid for the colleges
Mm.
for the oldest two. That he did once he
Oh.
got to a point where he could. That he did pay for them.
Mm.
I don't know. I've never seen any type of, any type of proof to validate that. He told me that he did
Survey
for the.
says that's a
Yeah.
lie. And my survey says that's a lie. But okay, how about this then? For what he thinks that is important, you weren't. Did you know Simon when he was 50 years in his 50s? Did you know him when he was 50 years old or in his 50s?
Yes.
Okay, Simon said he was diagnosed with ADHD. Did you ever hear anything about
He said
that?
that.
He put a post on that. I know you don't follow him on Instagram. That's good.
I
So
blocked
it's
him.
good. I'm glad you blocked him. But he put up a post after his first, not first, but after his second wife said that she had to solve everything. Her kids were special needs. He put up a post saying, "I too am in special needs, and I was diagnosed with ADHD in my 50s, and I was an immigrant, and I worked hard." I mean, listen, this is just me paraphrasing. I listen. I heard. Listen, I had to work hard, so
Okay.
those little nigglets can work hard too. That's what I heard. They on their own. But do
Yeah.
you remember Simon actually having ADHD? Was he diagnosed? Did he
Yeah.
experience symptoms?
Yeah. Simon and I have been diagnosed properly from a doctor since I was 23 years old. I'm now 32. Um, as I change, because as you move, you
Mhm,
want to change psychiatrists because they're just too far. You still have to see your psychiatrist every month, and yada yada.
mhm,
When you have prescription medication, especially a controlled substance such as Adderall XR, which is what I take and my
mhm.
children take as well. All of my children are ADHD, and they all take medication the same as
Okay.
me. So I feel like they get it from me. But um, Simon was with me when he went to go get diagnosed. Um, he took the test, as everyone is supposed to take a test. They're all different types of tests from psychiatrist to psychiatrist. They'll give you whatever ADHD test that they want to give you. Simon took the same one as I. I came back. My percentile is in the high 80s, so I cannot function without my medication, which is a lot
Mhm,
of the times why I did not take. I tried not to take interviews while I was pregnant because you cannot take that medication while you are
mhm,
pregnant, and I don't speak correctly without it. I can't even live everyday life without my medication because people who have ADHD, their neurotransmitters in their brain, they don't operate, they don't work. That's what the medication does. It turns them on, pretty much, to put it, simply in simple terms. Um, Simon went to get a test as well. And he came back so low to the point where the doctor said that you can choose to take medication, but it wouldn't affect you at all. That's why I'm laughing. What? That's so funny. Huh?
Okay. So,
It was, yeah, so I take approximately 70 milligrams
mhm.
in Adderall. Simon takes 5. So or at
Okay.
least
So
he was
listen.
diagnosed 5.
Anybody that's been on my channel knows nonlinear. ADD. I choose not to medicate because my mom scared the mess out of me, but y'all can tell because I'm usually all over the place. So it shows in different ways. There is not one face of it. So we are saying in this thing, to Fallon's knowledge, in the test that she knows about, he scored so low, the doctor said, "What are you doing? It's no point. 5 milligrams, there's no point." Okay, so to
Yeah.
Fallon's knowledge, he has not been diagnosed with ADHD. You guys, also, I have to point out
Well,
in
mhm.
No, go ahead.
Well,
Let's
that's
hear.
just what, right. That's just what, he was relaying to me from the doctor and what I saw. So I
Yeah.
saw his medication. Yeah.
Yes. So again, I believe this. It sounds very, very credible. You guys also listen, this is an interview. We are giving you guys facts. Take from it with what you will. I have my sources. Everybody has a different truth. We are listening to Fallon's truth. Of course, Simon and Portia are both invited to my channel if they would like to tell their truth. But right now, we have the brave Fallon. So we are getting her truth. All right. Also, there is 3,248 people in this chat. Y'all hit the like button. Don't be Simon Gabodi and me. And I don't want to hear that y'all were diagnosed with ADHD in your late 50s, 60s, or 70s. Hit the like button. Y'all know what it is. Now listen, we have a few questions, right? Okay, so he left you with his children when he came back, and this might be very sensitive to you, so let me know if I'm going too far. I know how protective you are about your children. When you guys separated, did he ban you from seeing his children? And how did he cut things off with your children? And I'm telling you the reason I'm asking because this is a sensitive subject, but I was always curious, regardless of when they started, at how quickly he's took on a parental role with his new girlfriend's child, right? New fiance's child. And I remember you saying something that he took on a parental role with your children very quickly, but it was a very um, controlling, isolated parental role. So I'm looking for similarities, and I'm just wondering when it was over because I don't judge people in the good times. I want to see your Yelp reviews. Shout out to Erica De Niro and see how did you treat the woman before you because you're probably going to treat me the same way. How did you? You know what I'm saying? Good times, everybody's good. But the bad times is when someone's true character comes out. So, what was it like? And this can be a cautionary tale for any woman that maybe what was it like when you separated? How did he separate the families and kind of just call it quits? What did that look like?
Um, mm, right. Jalen over here giving his 2 cents in the background. I have to think before I speak because if I just speak and blurt it all out, I'm gonna start crying. So I'm
Okay.
trying not to. Simon Simon did. Let me put it this way. Simon didn't answer or doesn't answer. My son. Ooh. Oh, this is hard. Okay, I'm not even a crier, so this is hard. And I'm not even pregnant this time. So, um, my 8-year-old or 8-year-old, he's now 9. My 9-year-old son only knew Simon as a daddy, you
Mm.
know, um, that he can truly remember, that he knows of. And Liam just recently, not too long ago, what was that? Maybe 2 weeks ago? 3 weeks ago? It was 2 weeks ago. We saw his iPad. Jalen and I saw his iPad. We're looking and seeing his messages and things. And Liam messaged, he sent a text message to Simon. Simon always has his text messages on read, where you can see if it's delivered or read.
Mm-hmm.
And Liam messaged him and asked him something simple like, "Can you take off the?" Because Simon used to be in charge of his iPad time, and asked him if he could take off the time limit for his iPad.
Oh, he missed them, huh?
Yeah. And he read it, and Liam saw that he read it, and he didn't answer him. So then
Oh.
Liam then asked him again a few minutes later and was like, "Mommy says it's okay if you," and I did tell him this. He said, "Mommy says it's okay if you talk to me. It's okay that you talk to me. Will you answer me? Can you take off my time limit or change it to a later time because it was really early." And he was like, "Can you change it? Mommy says it's okay that you say something." And he read it again. Oh,
Oh, I'm sorry. Fallon, I'm sorry. Let's change the subject to something different. I'm so sorry. Oh,
I didn't think that was gonna be hard.
It's okay.
Okay.
Take your drink. You're beautiful.
Not take my drink.
Tisa, don't you be crying on here either, all right?
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
All right. You know what? Let's talk about something happy real quick. Let's talk about something happy, right?
Yeah.
When did you realize that Jalen was the one? When did you realize he was the one?
Ugh. You know what? Not the one, but I will say I realized Jalen was something different than
Mhm,
my friendship with him
mhm.
on Valentine's Day. The day that Jalen left me. I mean, Jalen. Sorry. Sorry.
Blame
Because
it
you
on
just,
the Henny.
the way
You're
that
looking right at her. Yeah.
right. The way that Simon left me, he
Mhm,
left me on Valentine's Day morning at 7:30 a.m. I'll
mhm,
never forget that day. That day will be something that I will repeat forever and ever. And you just have the memories. Yeah, it's one of those. So Simon left me at 7:30 a.m. and never came back.
mhm,
And so on that day, it's actually my favorite. Simon knows this after 5 years of being together. Valentine's Day is my most favorite holiday of the year outside of Halloween.
mhm.
And so Jalen knew this as my best friend because he was so excited about what Simon was going to do for me. He was like, "Oh yeah." He didn't know what Jalen didn't know about the problems that we were going through at that time. I didn't tell anybody.
Mhm.
So Jalen was really excited for me, like, "Oh, don't worry," because he was out with Jalen the night before, and he was
Oh.
like, "Don't worry, Fallon. Valentine's Day, I know is going to be amazing for you and Simon." Yada yada. He was hyping it up, and then I called Jalen that morning and I said, Simon left. He said he was taking a drive and he just left. And he was like, "What do you mean he was taking a drive?" And I was like, "That's all he told me. I don't know." He said he was taking a drive to clear his head and he left. And he was like, "Fallon, but it's your favorite holiday." And I was like, "Yeah, yeah." And I was hurt and my feelings were so hurt. And so in the middle of the day, I don't know when he came up with it, but Jalen ended up, oh, bless his heart, as my best friend, he came up with dinner at a Thai restaurant, which I'm half Thai. So he came up with this very fancy dinner in Buckhead at a Thai restaurant.
Oh.
I'd never been there. Everyone had been talking about this restaurant, but I'd
Yeah.
never been there, called Noone.
Mhm.
And so he took me there. He got me all this gorgeous dinner. And after that, he took me to a mystery room where we had to find out who the
Ah,
murderer was. And we were both chained to the beds of
no.
in the dark. Yes, we were chained
Yes.
to the bed, and we had to figure out where the key was, and all the
Yeah.
clues. And it was up to me and Jalen to get ourselves out before we got murdered. And it was the best time I had ever had in my life. And after that, he dropped me off at home and he said, Fallon, like, it's okay. I know everything's going to be okay. Like, don't stress about it. Don't worry about it. You have those beautiful kids. And, I had his children and he was like, you're a great mom. You have nothing to worry about. And
Yeah.
after that, that's when I started looking at him differently.
It seems like, if I can just paraphrase, it seems like you were kind of in an emotional desert for a minute, and Jalen was like your water. He literally, like, you felt seen. Because, again, for you guys that study psychology, the most powerful thing for a person is to make them feel heard. And if you can make people feel like they're heard, it triggers something in people. We all want to be heard. And it sounds like you felt like your voice was taken, and Jalen actually, he saw you, he heard you, he got you. And of course, listen, Jalen's a smart man. If you want to make a tourist fall in love with you, take them, wine them, dine them. And every tourist I know loves Valentine's Day. I think y'all the only one keeping that holiday still going, right? So y'all
Yeah.
love Valentine's Day. So
Absolutely. He just told me not too long ago that I asked him because somebody else asked him. Where were we? Somebody else asked him, did you ever look at Fallon? We were on live a few days ago, and
okay.
somebody else asked him, did you ever look at Fallon like that in that way while you were with Simon? While they were asking me while you were with Simon, and he was like, no, no, no. It wasn't like that, when I was married. He wouldn't do that. But however, when he said, when I started seeing Simon
Mm-hmm.
in the way that, he was, because they had their own friendship outside of me as well. So
Mm-hmm.
Jalen knew things that nobody else knew. And he was like, when I saw him do that, and then I saw how he was treating her to her face,
Mm-hmm.
it of course I'm looking at her now like in a different light. Do I think that him and I were looking at each other like, oh my gosh, we're in love with each other, and oh yes, we're gonna be together? No. However, I think we both looked at each other like, damn, like you're going through that, like, and why is he
Yeah.
trying to keep you from me? And then he's looking at me like, why is he treating you like that? And we both started bucking up and trying to protect one another
Mm.
from this narcissistic abuse, to the point where legit, it just grew.
It just grew. Here's the thing I want to ask you, right?
Mhm.
Um,
About your breakup? I did? Oh yeah, I forgot all about that. Jalen was engaged to someone else. I
what
forgot.
girl? Tell us about her.
Jalen was engaged to someone else. He was madly in love with this woman. Oh my god, I totally forgot. Who was much older than him. He likes older women.
Oh,
Um,
really?
he does.
Okay.
But yeah, he was going through it. She ended up not being true, and he was going through a heartbreak at that time. And yeah, I forgot all about that, babe. Listen.
Okay. So listen, love conquers all. It conquered that. Let's talk about a few funny things, right? Because there's a few things that we have questions, and I got to get your opinion. We'll do a lightning round, right? Okay. There was a scene on Real Housewives of Atlanta, right? Where you said, my husband's 59. And Portia said, I'm actually 56. And your face was like, what were you thinking that moment? When another
When?
woman. So there was a scene on the Real Housewives of Atlanta, right? Where Latoya was, this is a little funny question, right? Latoya was saying, like, oh, this is, you're married to a 6-year-old, or you look like a woman that's been married to an old man. And you said,
Mm,
well, my husband is 59. And Portia interjected and corrected you and said, well, actually, he's 56. And you gave her a look like, uh-huh.
I think it
What
was the opposite way around. I think somebody else said he was 59, and I said 56.
did you?
Yeah, I think it was the opposite way around.
Oh, okay. All right, let's move to the next
Yeah.
lady.
However,
However, go on.
however, who was it that corrected me? It was Portia.
Yes, Portia corrected you. And I remember that scene, you literally, and I thought it was your spidey sense tingling because you gave her a look for a second, like, and then you just put it to the back of your head, like any good tourist, like, all right, let's file this one away for, Okay, so
Well, I
that's
did
it.
the typical thing. Even if I did, I would be doing the typical thing, thinking, "There's no way a man would get with me and get with that." Like there's no way.
Okay,
But like they say, for every beautiful woman, there's a man who's sick of her shit, and he could have just been sick of my shit. I'll just be honest with y'all. I'm not a liar. I'll be honest with y'all. He might have just been sick of my shit. Who knows?
okay, he might have. I mean, he got what he wanted, which is the world tearing apart his fake life. So, congrats, and you are doing good. So he got what. I mean, that's the thing. Why are you asking for the spotlight if you ain't ready for it, baby? Okay, but listen, it's my opinion, y'all. Take it for what it's worth, right? Listen. Let's see. You talked about this. You talked about that. I have a question for you. When you were with Simon, you know, he talks about being such an accomplished traveler. Did you guys ever go to the Seychelles, Maldives, Dubai? Where are some of the exotic locations you guys went to?
No, no, never. We went to Costa Rica, the Bahamas, and no, Cabo.
Oh, in Cabo. So you know what then? Forget the exotic locations. What about all those exotic houses that you guys stayed at? Simon, Portia said they have multiple overseas properties. And again, from the time he left you and got with Portia, which was maybe a few months, maybe he acquired a bunch of overseas properties. But when he was with you, do you remember him owning any overseas properties?
No. I was very comfortable with him renting. I told him it was stupid, but I was like, you better not. I said if we purchased in Costa Rica, we were interested in
Mm-hmm.
posting and purchasing the rental agree and the oh my gosh, the rental property in Costa Rica. And I told him it would be a good investment to rent it out. But that
Mm.
was it. And then they started being sketchy, and I told him pull away from the deal. He was like, "What do you think?" I said, "Absolutely not. I don't like the numbers. I don't like the way they're talking. Pull away. We're out. That's it." And we pulled
Mm.
away from the deal, and ever since then, no, it was all rentals, and I was very comfortable with that. I don't listen. You ain't got a lot to kick it with me. Listen, we'll get some rentals, and we'll be okay. If the
I
money
will
don't make
too.
sense, I don't like it. So
Mm.
it was fine. So the fact to like be coming out and trying to say, "Oh, we have this and that, and we own this and own," no, you don't got a lot to kick it. No,
Mm. Okay, so 2 year when you were with them, and you were with them for, I know you've known them for longer, but you were in a romantic relationship with them for 5 years, and 2 of those years, or 3 of those years, was marriage, right?
Mhm.
2 of those years were marriage, and in that time, you never saw any overseas properties, and that he owned, and he never took you to any overseas properties that he owned.
No, no, we were just now getting to a point where we were comfortable with traveling at all. He hated traveling to Nigeria. Hated it. He cried when he came back home. But no, no.
You said, how many times did he go to Nigeria when he was with you?
Once, oh, God bless his heart, his father passed away. And so he
Oh
went to
no!
Nigeria to see his father off. Hmm.
Oh really?
That was very hard for me. Very hard. It was harder for me than it was for him.
Why do you say
Yeah.
that?
He wasn't very close with his father, though very traditional. Not very close with his father. I felt like him and his father did not his father and I did not get along.
Mm-hmm.
However, I understood his father. His father was very traditional, and I think he just wanted him to be with a Nigerian woman, and I didn't knock him
Okay.
for it. My family wanted me to be with a Thai man.
Yeah.
It didn't work, so I didn't knock him for it. But it hit me very hard when his father passed because I felt like there were so many unsaid things between him and his father that just were not hashed out
Mm-hmm.
before he passed. And for some reason, it hit me and it didn't really hit him. I was the only one that cried.
Yeah, you
He
seem
didn't.
like, and you definitely seem like an empath. And if somebody's hurting, you want to take on
I've heard this
some of their
before.
pain.
Yeah, that's
You
probably
know,
what it is.
so, and you said he cried when he came home. Do you think he cried because of the stress of his father passing away, or?
Oh no, he cried and said that he was grateful for having a salmon when he came back home, and that there was no electricity in Nigeria, and that he was very excited because he had a connecting flight. He didn't even come straight home. He connected in Chicago, and he cried when he was able to order room service. That's why he cried.
That's what he cried about coming home from his father's funeral?
Yeah.
That he could have salmon again, he could order room service, and that there was electricity. He said there's no electricity in Nigeria.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah. That's what. Well, that's what he was complaining. And he didn't say there was no electricity in Nigeria. He
Okay.
just said there wasn't, because the electricity kept going in and out. He said he kept going in and out, in and out. And he was upset at that. Yeah.
He had a connecting flight. He didn't fly private over to Nigeria?
No. He did not fly private. He only, it's going to, guys, take this with a grain of salt. He only flew private when I asked to fly private. And I started asking to fly private after COVID. And I told him, no, if we're going to fly, it's going to be private. It's not going to be anything else, because we had all the kids with us. And it just became a habit. Like, we just, you fly private. But no, we were always out. Besides that, we were first class, but no, he flew commercial.
You flew commercial. I mean, listen, I understand that it would be about $150K to fly to Nigeria on private. I just assume because he, from what we saw, was flossing, he got a private plane to fly home to Greg's funeral. And he said in his own post he never met the man. I thought that was a little odd. Like, does he know this is a joke in America? I never met the man. Sorry to that man, but I know that he flew home to Portia's castmate's funeral, who he never met. So I don't know. It just I just always assumed that he would. It's 150K, but I don't know. What do I know, right? I'm not paying 150K for a fly home. Now, listen. What about? I see that you guys. What are you guys talking about? You guys, for those of you joining the chat, late. We've already addressed it. It's all bullshit internet rumors. Simon is not asking for paternity tests. Falynn and Jalen have confirmed paternity of their child. And she also said when you look at the baby's face, you can tell that ain't Simon's baby because the baby's drop dead gorgeous, beautiful. So that was me adding on the last third thing. But let's just say the baby's paternity has been confirmed. Anything else you guys hear, it's just trolls, maybe paid trolls, maybe bitter trolls, maybe hateful trolls, maybe not happy trolls, but they are trolls. So we've confirmed that, guys. Okay, we've confirmed this. Now, listen. I wanted to ask you a few questions about, what do you think is going on? Because with the thing you mentioned before that Simon had this quest, he had these rules you had to follow, he kept holding divorce, and there was infidelity on his part, even before the Portia stuff and before you guys had split. So you knew something, but you didn't know what. So prior to that, there was infidelity, and then you guys split. You were going to conscious uncoupling. I did my own math because I love being the FBI, and I went to 40 weeks, and I just counted backwards. And in my mind, you carried the baby 39 weeks in one day. Right? I don't know any woman that actually has her baby on time. So it was 39 weeks in one day. Can you just, once and for all, because everybody says it's all over the place, different interviews, establish the timeline so people can get out of your uterus? I'm happy because I did the math and it added up for me. And y'all know I'm the FBI with this stuff. I literally pulled my notebook out. But establish a timeline for us, please.
As far as my pregnancy goes, I mean, I'm not going to say no woman, because there are some women who know exactly when they conceived. I don't know when I conceived. However, I would have to say in March. I didn't know until April. I did not know I was pregnant until April. And like I said, Simon was already with Jessica Harris and other women that I had heard. So, and he was going out every single night. When he would come back in town from Miami and Costa Rica, he was not wearing his ring. We were in uncoupling therapy. We were not together. So whatever it was that he was doing on his time is his business. Okay. Whatever I was doing on my time is my business. And what ended up happening from that, I found love. You found thoughts. What did I got to do with me? I don't got nothing to do with it. Don't put me in that, because I have nothing to do with it. Why'd you even bring me up in it? For what? You found some thoughts, and then you found one that you really liked, and you engaged her. And next, boom. I'm
Okay.
not worried.
Okay.
I'm worried
So,
about the children. I was worried about the children. And I think that's what a lot of people got confused with me being so emotional in my interview that I did. There were so many lies and so many things that were, speculating out in the media that's why I felt the need to do my interview. And there were a lot of problems that Simon and I had within our marriage that I disclosed. However, Simon and I were not together. And whatever it is that I did in my time, however fast y'all may think it is, okay, I did it fast. And he did it fast. I did it fast. We all did it fast. You don't have to bring up my name as deflection. You did what you
okay.
did.
So then let me ask you this then, because, and I'm going to be as sensitive, but you're not pregnant anymore. So, you're not as sensitive, but I'm going to be, I'm not getting back to tears. But I got to ask you, I heard on a TV show that the reason, and y'all know I think this bullshit, but let me just set it up. The reason how Simon and Portia got together was that Simon said Portia DM'd him to check up on him about the divorce. Portia
Yeah.
said on Watch What, you probably don't know, but let me just set it up. Portia said on Watch What Happened Live that little birdies had told her that you were pregnant. Now, that struck me as odd because I said you were on YouTube giving interviews for people and did not say anything about your pregnancy. So I want to actually know, one, how did Portia know you were pregnant? But more importantly, how did Simon know you were pregnant? And why do you think he announced that? I don't
You
think
know,
Portia knew you were pregnant, but tell me your story. I don't know.
I barely knew when I was pregnant.
Okay.
Like I said, I found out that I was pregnant in April. It was still a point to where like it was disbelief almost because I was with somebody who couldn't get me pregnant for 5 years. So it was to the point where I'm sorry, that's a lie. For 4 years.
Okay.
Because he got me pregnant once before. And after that, I could not get pregnant. We tried.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and so even when I found out I was pregnant, I was one of those women who was like, no, I need more proof. And I hadn't gotten the blood test and all that just yet. It was just a stick. So I was like, no, I'm probably too old. I don't
Mm-hmm.
know. And so by the time I'm still in weary and still in shock, I'm still waiting on that doctor's appointment,
Mm-hmm.
to go and get tested. I had just found out that I was pregnant in late May. I didn't find out till late April. So by the stick. And for some reason, my doctor was not available. So I didn't find out till late May after my
Okay.
birthday. At that
Okay.
point, I was already, me and Jalen were talking. We weren't, oh my gosh, like I know exactly what I'm doing. I'm in love with you. Let's move on with this, that, and the third. It was a thing like, I really like you
Mm-hmm.
and I like you a lot, to the point
Okay.
where yeah. So by that time, Simon was already moved on, and I had already heard that he was with like 3 or 4 other people. So it
Mm-hmm.
wasn't anything that bothered me. By the time I was hearing that I was pregnant, I'm like, all right, well, we're not, together. It was, really didn't think anything of it. And then by the time June came for my interview, see, I told you. Did I not say that painting was crooked? I'm sorry, the painting fell.
So she's an artist. She's sensitive
I
about her
told
image.
him he doesn't. All right. Anyway, sorry.
Her painting
So
fell. She was like, interview over.
right. So anyway,
Oh, listen. How did Simon find out you were pregnant though? Portia told him?
I don't know how Simon found out I was pregnant. I didn't even
Mm-hmm.
tell. The only person who was mutual between Simon and I was the therapist. And I'd be
Mm.
damned if I told the therapist that because she was working on uncoupling us. The last thing I needed to do, that I felt I needed to do, was to tell a man from my recent past, that I'm pregnant or that I'm messing with anybody or I could possibly be pregnant and I don't know. How does this sound like I'm trying to move on from you and you're in the middle of this divorce and you throwing up your prenuptial agreement every day saying, yeah, bitch, la, 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 we out, I'm done with you. And I'm like, well, let me tell you, I think I might be pregnant. No, miss me. No, I don't owe you nothing. And I did not owe him anything. So, no. I did
So
not
you,
tell the therapist. I did not tell him. I don't know how he found out. However, Simon and I had mutual, not even friends, just like mutual people where they knew I was trying to stay to myself and I was very different and I was quiet and I was cutting people off. I think people just got a hunch, honestly. And he ran with it. I mean, it's not like he wouldn't lie. So
let me ask you something though. Did you ever try to say that was his child? Did you ever try to tell him that you were carrying a
never,
child? He put that post up there saying he's demanding a paternity test. Did anybody ask him for a paternity test? Like
never.
again, okay. So
Let me
you
tell
made
you.
it clear to him this is not your kid. And Simon, you mentioned earlier, for those of you guys just joining, that he, as far as you know, he wasn't able to have children. So there wasn't a doubt in anyone's mind that wherever the baby came from, it didn't come from him.
Right. Absolutely. No, I did not. I didn't. Even if I did end up pregnant by him, I would never tell him. I wouldn't. He's very abusive mentally,
Mm,
and I mean, look at what he's done to my children. No,
yeah.
absolutely not. I wouldn't want my child, any child I'm bringing into this planet Earth, to have anything to do with him at all. No.
Okay, so you wouldn't have anything to do, right? Why do you think Simon announced the pregnancy then? He
Because
knew she was
he was using
infertile.
deflection because he was using deflection as as a tactic. He couldn't take, and I know for a fact that he couldn't take what the heat that they were receiving, because after their announcement of the engagement, because he called my best friend, the one he tried to cut off,
Mhm.
who with the married husband, he called her and she called me. He called her and said, tell Falynn that if she says anything about this engagement, exposes anything, that I can't stop Portia. There's nothing I can do to stop her. She's going to let out whatever information she does. And if she does let out information, I'm going to just let her know that I'm going to let out a video of her and Jalen specifically cheating. And I'm like, you could have used anybody, but you used Jalen. I'm like, okay. And he's like, yeah, I'm gonna use Jalen in a video. He didn't tell me what video. He didn't tell her what video, and she didn't tell me. There was no explanation of what video it was. It was just I was going to use a video to use against Fallon. So that's pretty much all that it was. I didn't know what was going to come of it. And of course, lo and behold, it was a video of Jalen walking on the side of the house that he always enters in because his room is close to that door, and him fixing the door. And I actually have text messages from him stating that the door was broken. Can you please have the people come and fix it while he was gone out of town and left me with the children? I'm like, the door swings open. Me and the children are exposed. And we had somebody come to our gate that next day after I asked him to do that, and he didn't do it. We had somebody come to our gate the next day, two guys in a white vehicle trying to get through our gate, and the gate was
Mhm.
broken that day. It was a storm, so the gate got blown out and it was broken that day. And I told them, this is exactly why I told you to have the door fixed. And the guys apparently got scared away. They left. And I had all of my family, my mom, I had my second assistant, I had Jalen, and I had my uncle come and stay with me. And so Jalen and I went out. My mom's not going to go out with me. My uncle's not going to go out with me. My second assistant, she was there with the children as well. So he came with me and we went out. We had a couple of drinks and I was telling him everything that was going on and yada yada. We got back home by midnight and he went through the side door that he always goes in, and I went through the front. It was raining, and I was wearing heels. I went through the front door on the concrete. He went through the side door. That's the door he always goes in. And then he used that video against me and said, "She cheated. She cheated. See him going through the side door." And he always goes through that door, but it was specifically broken. And Jalen is like a Mr. Fix It. So I told him, please fix the fucking door. And so,
Listen,
right.
so
Yeah.
listen, I will say that for those of you, listen, some of you guys are asking questions because we only have Fallon for a limited amount of time. Some of y'all are asking questions that she already answered in previous interviews with myself and with other people. So for that, no, we're not going to recap. Go watch the other interviews on my channel. They're right there, right? But in this thing, this question, I think the glaring takeaway is he literally called you and threatened you and said that if you said something about anything about what was going on, he didn't know what Portia was going to do to you. And he said he was going to release a video. To my knowledge, you didn't say anything about Portia, right? And which I was
Yeah,
shocked about because I would have dragged. You didn't say anything about Portia. And then Simon still released this
you're
video.
correct. You're
Yeah.
correct. My friend actually checked him and said, Falynn hasn't said anything about you except she released that one statement stating, she just wants to finalize her divorce and focus on healing. That was it.
Yeah.
So she asked him, like, why would you say that? And she said that he just kept rambling on about, possibly saying anything or anything like that. So that was him trying to, I guess, get the hunch on me. I don't know. I was never going to say anything. Like, that's not, y'all don't understand. I have receipts on receipts on receipts on receipts because as calculated as Simon is, he wasn't so calculated, which I don't understand because he's actually very smart. But I have receipts on receipts, and if I was going to release stuff, I would have been did it, and that's not my intention. My intention is to let people know that Simon and I, before we even announced publicly that we were divorced, we were already separated. Not legally, but we were separated verbally. And whatever it was that he was doing was what he was doing. And whatever I was doing was what I was doing. All I did was move on. That's all the wrong I did was move on his terms. That's it. However y'all take it is, if y'all want to ridicule me based off of my timeline, go ahead. I'm all for it because not everybody's going to agree, and I'm okay with that. But don't ridicule me based off of things that are not fact. That's where I get irked because I'm like, that's not true.
All right, I
But
can
if
see
it's
that.
true, it's cool.
Okay, I can see that. Just to interrupt, sorry, Fallon. You guys, there are 3,757 people in this damn chat, and I don't even have 1,500 likes. Why y'all Simon Gaboting me? Y'all sitting here trying to tell me y'all have just got diagnosed with ADHD and you forgot to hit the like button. You don't know where it is. You guys, if you guys are enjoying this chat, please hit the like button. This is YouTube, baby. You know how it works. As much as I love chopping it up and being messy with y'all, you guys, come on. I'm doing this for a reason. Now, listen, I got to ask you this because there has been a lot of speculation about this, right? Prior to January, and this is hand on Bible on your God, your country, your children, and everything else you love. Prior to you guys having the conscious uncoupling and agreeing to actually move your separate ways, did you cheat on Simon?
No. I loved my husband very much. And it only hurts me now because I know for a fact that this was the first relationship. I'll tell y'all, this is the first relationship that I've ever been in that I've really tried because I was adult enough, I guess, to handle it and to really try. And I had to be because he was 30 years older than me, right? So I had to try. I had to make sure I brought my best foot forward. And he wasn't only 30 years older than me, he was wealthy. So I wanted to make sure that I impressed him. I wanted to make sure that I impressed myself. And I wanted to make sure he had other children. And I wanted to make sure that I was a good a damn good mother to his children. I tried.
Okay, so
I
here's the
never
thing.
cheated on my husband.
Okay, so here's the thing. I listen, nobody's above suspicion. However, I will say when I thought about it and I was putting together my expose, go ahead and watch it if you guys haven't seen it. I tend to believe what you're saying because Simon's messy. And if he had anything on you, he would have blasted it. And I found it funny that the only thing he could really find to even slightly make you look bad is a blurry 7-Eleven surveillance video of you guys carrying takeout into the house. And the way, for what everybody says in that house, there was security cameras everywhere. I'm like, if you're gonna give me some tea, let me see somebody creep into somebody's room. Let me see like a little pause in the kitchen. You literally got two people walking in
Mm,
separately into a house. Anyway, it didn't make any sense. Now, here's the thing. Someone had a good question though, and this is the question I have for you. Let me know if I'm overstepping bounds, and no disrespect for Jalen, but listen, I find Simon disgusting, right? I'm not even talking about his physical appearance. I'm talking about me talking to a lot of people that know him, the type of person he is. It's almost like if you're in the Greek mythology or whatever, like what do you call it? Subjectus or whatever. I can't even pronounce the word, right? But he's dark energy. He's a parasite. He feeds off of people. And I've talked to a lot of people that have said they haven't had good encounters with them. When you
mhm,
say you were in love with your husband, what about him was so lovable? Let us know the Simon I don't see.
mm. Now understanding. I didn't know then. Had you asked me back in June when I did my interview, it would sound like, oh, but now understanding what a narcissist portrays themselves as, that's exactly what it's going to sound like coming off of my tongue now. In the very beginning, I told him on our first date, it was lunch. And I
Mm,
told him it was a blind date, actually. And I told him he was complaining about how many people he knew in his life that used him for his wealth and always
mm,
wanted something from him. And he was tired of people using him. And I told him, I said, I'm sorry. I'm no different from them. And he said, how so? I said, let me tell you. I said, I want to use you too, just not the way they did. I said, I want to use you because I want to be you. I want you to teach me how to be you because I have sons and I want to learn how. I'm good. I want to learn how to be that for my children. And he says to this day, he would always say that was the moment where he fell in love with me.
that was the moment
Um,
when he saw you as a mark. But go on.
yes, exactly. That was yes, exactly. Um, and after that moment, after that date, we were inseparable. I mean, we were on the phone, we were on FaceTime 24/7 because I lived in LA at that time and he lived in Atlanta. And after me talking to him for about 2 months, I told him I never slept with him or anything. I just told him I would, it was just honestly dating for 2 months. And he told me that, no, I'm sorry. No, after 2 months, I called him. I'm sorry, I called him and I
Mhm.
told him, what are we doing? What's happening? Like, what are we
Mhm.
doing? And are we serious? Or is this just, another playful banter thing? Because if it is, I'm not with it. And
Mhm.
he told me, he said, you're right. I never even thought about it. What do you want to do? And I
He said
said,
that?
Atlanta is my hometown. So I have no problem with moving back to Atlanta. I was living in LA. So he was like, if you want to move back to Atlanta, you can move back this week. So I moved back to Atlanta. I got a place. I love that place. I got a place and yeah, he ended up moving in with me for a little bit. And then after he moved in with me for a little bit, he then bought a house and told me he was staying there for a week and I was staying in my apartment for a week. And he said, if you're going to be with me, you need to move out of your apartment. I'd only been there for about maybe 4 months, 4 or 5 months. give or take. And so he said, you need to move out of your apartment and you need to move in this house with me because I'm not going to be with a woman and she doesn't live with me. So another week goes by and I was like, well, let me think about it. And he started pressuring me. And I moved out of the apartment and I moved in with him at the house. And that's where everything started.
Really? Okay, so again, now you can see the warning signs, right? And I hope if there's anyone, man, woman, young or old, that is dealing with someone that is just breaking them down, and every time they're around them, they just feel worse and worse and worse. You guys need to read what a narcissistic person is and what Fallon actually experienced, because I'll tell you what, this is actually very on brand. But let me bring this back to this. You said that he first moved in with you, correct? When you first moved back to Atlanta, he moved in with you before he purchased a house, right?
Yes. He
Um,
was in the middle of looking for a house when we got together. He was looking for a house. He just didn't find the right one just yet. And then he found one, and the contract, he got on contract. He went under contract with one. It was beautiful. And it fell through for some reason. I never knew why. He just said that it fell through, and then he continued looking. So he was
mhm.
staying with me the whole time.
Okay, so he continued staying with you the whole time. I mean, I gotta ask, uh, this sounds a lot of like, do, hmm, it's funny that he moved in with you and then he got his own house. It kind of seems like, and I don't want to start any mess, but it seems like he's on the same thing, because from what my sources are telling me, things might have changed this week because we called him out on it. But after he sold your last residence, he doesn't actually have a residence in Atlanta. The reason I say this is someone's chasing after him for 200,000 that's held in escrow that he won't release because he backed out of a deal, and they cannot find an actual residence to serve him with. Um, do, do you know this, that Simon doesn't really keep residences, or he lives with women? We're just trying to figure out a little bit more about what's going on.
No. I know prior to me, he lived with a woman that he was in a relationship with for 2 years in an apartment in her name. I don't know anything else.
So prior to you, he lived with a woman that he had a relationship with, and the apartment was in her name, and he moved in with her.
Yeah.
Okay, okay. Just something really odd that struck me, and maybe this is part of the narcissist thing. I mean, honestly, you had your daughter, you look gorgeous, you look beautiful pregnant, right? But you're back to Fallon. I think we forgot for a second, like, you're gorgeous, but now you're just like, wow, right? So you're getting back into your groove. And folks, she just had a baby, for those of you guys hiding under a rock. I was in your live earlier when I was begging you to come on, and you mentioned that your ex, I assume you're talking about Simon, didn't like you with trendy hair, right? Because it
Yeah.
made you look too young. I found that really odd for someone that's obsessed with being youthful. Not you, but your ex
Mm.
feeling that
Mm.
way. Do you feel that that was another narc manipulation tactic, that the thing he maybe envied about you and was attracted to you for, he wanted to make you feel self-conscious about it, you know?
Yeah. I mean, maybe. I mean, there were things he allowed me to wear sexy clothes. Like I was allowed to wear see-through clothing. I was allowed to dress like I was Rihanna.
Mhm,
Like I was allowed to dress very, very sexy, very American. Like he was very against being so African and traditional. He wanted to dress, very swag like, and I would dress him for the most part.
mhm,
Um, so it was nothing. I mean, I thought it was normal. I thought it was cool.
mhm,
However, my hair, I was not allowed to cut my hair, and I was not allowed to style my hair in a very, trendy way like I am today
mhm.
because it made me look young. That's what he would say. It made me look younger. So I wasn't allowed, which is why the first thing I did when Simon and I didn't announce it publicly, But when I posted, and it's still there on my Instagram, y'all, when I posted about my hair, me chopping off my hair, that was me like coming out in the public for the first time saying I'm done and I'm moving on. That was my subliminal to the world, letting them know
Oh,
that I have moved on. I chopped my hair because I was not allowed to cut my hair, which I
mm,
love short hair on me rather than long hair. Though
yeah.
I'm growing my hair back out because I want it to be long. But yeah. So that post is still there on my Instagram. Yes.
So the post is still there on your Instagram. I want to ask though, right? Also, Macy, woo, you are a member for 3 months. Macy said she's 100% convinced that Simon has learned to weaponize language of healing therapy to manipulate people, not improve. Thank you so much, Macy. You've been a member for 3 months. Y'all sign up for my members only chat because this Friday it's going to be live. It's only $4.99. You can cancel any wait time you want. But yo, I got some dirt for you this Friday. I got some dirt. I promised I would come through with the Fallon stuff. I gave y'all everybody a live interview, but the next stuff is only going to be for my members only. But when you say that, so when Macy says, she makes up a good point. He's learned a weaponized language of healing, therapy to manipulate people, not approve. Simon's been making posts about, he's healed from trauma because he had 175 hours of therapy. To me, I'm like, okay, so you went twice a week for 9 months. How does this work? Because like 100 hours of therapy you can do in 6 months if you go twice a week, and even then it's like whatever. So what do you feel about that? I know in our last interview, you guys, if you haven't seen it, go check it out. We're not going to ask our old questions, but I know in that last interview you said that when you were in therapy, he put a lot of pressure on you and made you feel like something was off. Do you think there's something in what Macy's saying?
Yeah, something's off.
No, that what he weaponizes the language of therapy.
Oh yeah, that's how he got me. Oh, absolutely, 100%. He told me I was also, and I am smart, motherfuckers. But he told
You
me I
are.
was so smart, that I was this, that I was that. I mean, oh man, he made me feel like I was invincible. Like, like I was just untouchable. Um, he used everything that was important to me
Mm-hmm.
against me by uplifting me with exactly what was important to me, if that makes sense.
No, give me an example. Something that we can wrap our minds around.
Family, my children. My children are everything to me. They're first, doesn't matter what it is. And, that stems from having them at such a young age. Um, I wanted to make sure that any man that I got with older, being older, that he appreciated them just as much, if not more.
Mm.
And he used my children and the love and affection I have for my children and the love and affection that I grew for his children against me. He made sure, now, mind you, okay, I'll use this, I'll tell you this. Mind you, I forced him to go to court, right? To enforce a very strong bond and time with his children, right? Not that the mothers were against it. The mother was like, please, help me. Here you go. She showed up to court and happy and as go lucky. She was ready to go. Like, here, help me out. So it wasn't on her part. It was solely on his, like, here are the kids, let's go to court, let's establish, not paternity because they were married, but let's establish, that father bond, that the fatherhood, that you need to have with your children.
So kind of
And
force him to be a father. Okay.
correct, I
Okay.
guess. And he used that because he knew how important that was to me. He went to court. He paid all the fines, and y'all know them fines be expensive. It's not like no $100. It's a
Mm.
lot. Okay, he paid all the fines, and I made sure that he felt good about paying the fines. For his ex-wife. Like, this is something that you need to do. You
Yeah.
have the financial not her. You know, you got her pregnant. Like, this is good. This is good. And he did it. Don't get me wrong. He did it. And he enforced that parenting time between the two of them. And it was beautiful. However, is he there now? Is he
Mm,
there? Now that I'm not in the picture, is he there?
that's true.
No.
Mm,
No. When he did establish that relationship with them legally, and we got them week on, week off, and now we spent all the time, his ex-wife used to always say, like, they always say everything about Falynn. They always say everything about, you know, her sons. They never say anything about you.
mm-hmm.
They always say that you're always gone or you're always working. Why?
Yeah.
Because ultimately, what I didn't know was I was fighting for parenting time with his kids. I didn't even know. Shit. I mean, they were my kids. And she was so happy to have for them to be my kids and me to and there to be and them to be her kids, and you know, and our blended family between her and I. We were so happy that this was our blended family, except we were missing that one component. That
Ugh.
one component, and he was not there. And that's a perfect example for you. Where is he?
No, I definitely hear that, but I wanted to like ask you something, right? Because I know you got to get back to the baby. I know whatever. So let's do a quick lightning round, right? Let's do lightning round, right? You
Mhm.
mentioned that, Simon at that time had the finances, right? Let's get into lightning round on finances, right? True or false? Have you been to Simon's offices for his businesses?
Offices needs to be singular, not plural.
Okay.
He has one office. Yes. He has one office. Um, and that's usually where he just picks up his mail. Yeah, he picks up his mail.
He picks up his mail. Okay, hold on, really quick. I want to say new member alert. Thank you to PVT Joy, Erica Johnson, Curly Creole, Ruby Rebel, Success. Thank you guys all for joining. Now, you said he picked up his mail. How many employees did you meet?
Huh?
How many employees did you meet? Employees in Simon's business.
One.
Who was that? Don't give a name, but what was their position?
I don't know the name of their position. What would I call it?
What
What
did
would
they
I call
do? What was their job responsibilities?
it? There were two, and then I accused him of sleeping with her, and come to find out it was true. So I made him fire her, but he didn't fire her when I made him fire her. He ended up firing her because she messed up his money.
Was her
Um,
last name Levy?
I don't know her last name.
Mm, okay. So he had two employees that you know of. One he slept with. You made him fire her. He lied about firing her. Did he eventually fire her? Or did you leave him before she
Said
got
that he
fired?
would when we were getting married. I told him I have one stipulation. I said you need to fire her because I
I know that's
can't
right.
get
You
over
said
our
her
past.
right there. Get out of
Yeah,
here.
I said I can't get over our past if she's still there. So he ended up saying that he would fire her. And of course, me trusting, he's my husband. Of course, I'm going to trust his word. Me
Mm-hmm.
trusting his word like an idiot. He did not fire her. However, when she messed up his money and she started messing up a couple of times, then he fired her because she did him wrong.
Okay.
Such an idiot. Um, and the other person has been there for a very long time. I have
Jonathan?
never seen. Nope. Jonathan is an assistant.
Okay.
Jonathan Jonathan is an assistant who was actually he had a lesser title than Jalen did. Jalen was my executive. Jonathan is more like the guy who hooks him up with his women. He's that
What?
assistant. Yeah.
Jonathan's the one that hooks him up with his women because every time he's in Costa Rica and Portia's not there, we see Jonathan around. Huh.
I didn't say anything.
Okay.
Uh,
Okay, so you met two employees the whole time you guys were together, right?
yes,
Um,
I made him hire Jonathan. Jonathan was going through a lot at one point in time of his life, and he was Simon's friend. Simon said that he was friends with him for 10 plus years, and he was going through a lot as far as establishing himself in this world. And who
yeah.
hasn't been through that in life? So I said, he needs purpose. Every man needs purpose. A man without purpose is no man at all.
Mm,
So I told him, you need to hire Jonathan because he's your friend and he needs you. So he hired him.
mm.
And then after that, hmm?
So let me ask you a question though. How did Jonathan go from being friend needing purpose to now procuring women for him whenever they were out?
People are, how can I say this? In my opinion, people are paid off to whatever, for whatever reasons they are paid off. That's just my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
It went from me being the best person that Simon has ever been with for that purpose to, him being his boy. That's what boys do, right?
Is that what boys do?
I don't know. Shit. I guess so. In my experience.
Better not be any boys in my society. Maybe that is what boys do, not men. Better not. Yeah.
Man,
Okay.
listen, Jalen better not have no boys.
Exactly.
It's the same, and that's the same person who introduced his the baby mama, the third one. That's the same
Mm.
person who introduced his baby mama when he was married to the second wife.
Wait. Jonathan introduced Simon to his Colombian baby's mom while
Yep.
he was married to his second wife. Oh wow.
Yep.
Okay, Jonathan. But he did this before he was an employee. He did it just as a friend.
As a friend,
As a
right?
Okay, so
But of course,
Jonathan.
I was never threatened, and I ain't never gonna be threatened. But he was
Well, I've
telling
seen
me,
her. You shouldn't be. But go on.
I'm not.
You should.
I'm not. But no. Yeah, no. After some time passed, and people do stupid things when they're young. I just checked it too. You did that and you were young. You were young and dumb and just, you loved Simon, so hey, here's my friend. And whatever they do has nothing to do with you. So I didn't think anything of it. Until
Until until what?
until Simon just started disappearing to Costa Rica and I was left with his kids.
Okay. Let me ask you a question. That the house you currently live in now, right? It's a
Yes.
pretty affluent neighborhood from what I've heard. It's in a
I
gated
love my
community.
neighborhood. Oh, I love my neighborhood. Yeah.
Okay. So you love your neighborhood. It's in a gated community. Did Simon get that house for you that you're living in right now? I don't want to get in your business, but we already there. So
Oh no. Absolutely not. No. This
he
is
had
my
nothing to do.
I
Okay.
paid for my house. No.
Okay.
Simon had absolutely nothing to do with my house. Simon had to do with my townhouse before I moved into this house. And the only reason why I moved into that townhouse is because Simon gave me a certain amount of time to move out of his house because I was not on the deed. So he told me, you have 3 weeks to move out of my house with my kids. And so I said, my credit sucks. So if you want me to hurry up and move out of here, you need to help me move out of here. And he was against it forever. And then the therapist, our uncoupling therapist, convinced him. She's like, where's she supposed to go and what's she supposed to do if you don't help her? And he said, okay. So he paid up my townhouse because my credit was horrible. The only way you're going to get into a rented place, is if your money speaks for you.
Mm-hmm.
So Simon paid up for a year for my townhouse that I moved into right after I moved out of our shared home. Now, I lived there for 2 months and I then moved out. Why? Because I'm an empath and I felt a bunch of negative energy
Mm,
connected to that townhouse. And I said, absolutely not. Surface people won't understand what I'm talking about. But us spiritual people, we know exactly what I'm talking about. I'm an empath. And I felt nothing but negative energy connected to that place. Me and Jalen were fighting when he would come over. Jalen and I were fighting. My kids were very upset about random things. Like it was just the weirdest thing. My children they didn't have that type of personality. So it was
mm,
weird. Jalen and I never fought, like even as friends. We never fought. Like if we
yeah.
did, it was over silly, stupid stuff. It was debates. So I said, no, it's this house. It's this townhouse. I got to move out of here. I moved out 2 months later. I left the money that Simon had paid up for a year. I left it. I told him, I said, you can have it. I'm
Mhm.
out. And I moved out. I found a house. I found a realtor. I found a house and I moved in after 2 months of staying there. And that's the house I'm in. And I paid for it. And I haven't spoken to Simon ever since March.
That's the last time you guys talked. Let me ask you a question. So he paid for the full rent of the house. I mean, listen, if you follow the line of reasoning that he is a narcissist, it makes sense that people that deal with narcissists have to go cold turkey. However, just from an abstract way, taking feelings out of it, there's been a lot of debate about how financially stable Simon is, right? In your opinion, is Simon wealthy? Jalen,
Oh my God.
would you take this? Would you like to take this question? Is Simon listen? Tell me what I've been hearing. I've been hearing that Simon has scammer money. Scammer money is 1 week there might be like let's ball out, right? Another week it might be like how are we paying for groceries? Another week it might be like ooh there's money again. It's very feast or famine because you're always trying to follow your next big well to where money's coming in. There's nothing actually stable about the money. But again, you were married to the man. You would know. If you can't speak on this, please let us know. But would you consider him wealthy? Would you consider him rich? Where would you say on a scale of 1 to 10 his finances fall now?
As far as right, as far as being able for me to be able to spot a scammer, I was raised very green. My sister, a lot of you know her, a lot of you don't. My sister is Toy Pina, and she was introduced to the city life at a very young age. A lot of you know who she is. She's very popular. And that being said, being from Atlanta, my sister made sure, outside of my mother, my sister made very sure that um, I was sheltered. So I don't know. Simon was the first man I was actually with, like publicly, like and people knew about. My sister did not like him when she first met him. Um, I don't think my sister would have liked anybody that I would have brought home, honestly. But she did not like him because she heard things in the streets about him being a scammer and things like that. But I reassured her. I said, her name is Toy. I said, Toy, I've seen his finances, I've seen him work in the mornings, I've seen this and I've seen that. And I would show her certain things and I would say, is this of a scammer? Because, it doesn't seem like he's a scammer to me because there's legitimate this, that, this, that, this, that.
Okay.
Whereas there were certain people in the industry, in the entertainment industry, who knew a couple of people who knew him who said, no, regardless of that, he just knows what to do and he's a scammer. I chose not to believe it. I'm just going to tell y'all now. I chose not to believe it. And it was probably stupid, but you live and you learn.
You live and you learn.
I was 26 years old. I didn't know anything about anything. I was raised very sheltered. So I was like, no, he loves me. And he did love me, I think, to the best of his knowledge. He loved me. Wasn't good
You know,
enough.
it's so funny. Hope Frazier had a point. She said it seems like he follows the same script with all his women. To me, it's so funny. The same sob story he was giving, and I'm calling it a sob story, that he was giving you about, like, basically, I'm perfect. I'm emotionally there. I've healed my trauma. I got money in the bank. What you think? We can make this work. Same thing he was telling Jessica Harris. And honestly, even the stuff that other people that he's currently with are spewing, it's along the same lines. And it seems like it goes away of people think that he's so evolved, so this, so that, almost damn near perfect. But then the more you get to know him, the more he's kind of sucking the life out of you. You mentioned that he goes to his office to pick up his mail. What did his workday look like when you were with him?
Oh, it was the same every single day. 7 a.m. He would wake up.
Mhm.
He would check his laptop for whatever whatever he made for the previous night of oil, of of yeah, oil checks that he made, and yeah, that was pretty much it. And then he would be done around. So he'd wake up at 7 a.m. He'd be done around 9 a.m. He'd just be on his laptop doing numbers till around 9 a.m. And
Mm.
then he would go to work out after he started working out. He'd go to work out with his trainer, and then eat breakfast. I would make him breakfast, or he would order it, either way. And then we would do whatever throughout the day, run errands and whatnot, pick up more mail at the office. And by 7 p.m. is the magic time of the day. By 7 p.m., he had to do what he calls prices, and sends prices out for the following day of where oil is placed at. So
He was saying he was setting prices for where
yeah,
oil was placed at.
he was sending prices to his contacts and whatnot, to the people who purchased
Was he
oil.
selling black market oil from Venezuela? Because what you talk about, oil prices are capped in the U.S. They're literally set. You can only go in a region so far, so little. That's why all the gas stations in California pretty much got the same price. All the gas stations in Atlanta. The only time you can set your own oil price in America is when you're buying black market oil.
Maybe,
I'm just,
maybe.
I
Where
don't know if he
his
was.
his oil was not local. I know that they were not local. And yeah, he would set different oil prices. He said, because the pricing of oil changes every single day. And he would make sure that he followed up on that every single day. And that was the one employee that he had that I knew about as far as his oil goes. They would set that, and then he would check it to see and approve it and send it off at 7 p.m.
So he was running an oil company and pricing oil with one employee. If anybody knows anything about commodities, especially oil or any commodity, that sounds damn near impossible. And I'm not saying it just because it is. It's just it sounds damn near impossible. If anybody's ever heard of anybody running oil
Hey man,
and
listen,
setting
I don't
prices
know.
in America.
I was a very like I said, I was a very sheltered young girl. I don't know. Even if I
Okay,
wasn't sheltered, I don't know nothing about no oil. I don't know nothing about no prices. All I know is what he told me, and I'm just telling y'all what he told me.
okay. Listen, I got some questions. Okay, fine. Let's ask questions, right? You're only repeating what you told, because I always assume OPEC set the oil, the raw, the barrel, how much a barrel oil, and then when it comes to America, regionally, it's capped by the federal government because it's a anyway. Let's move on, right? Don't make sense. Maybe I don't know. Listen. So we're talking about all this oil and no employees. When he picked up his mail, was his name on the mail?
No, it was his business. It was his business name.
But his business name, I think, Simcoe Petroleum. If you look at the state of Georgia, it had been inactive for a while. He made it active retroactively, I think, in 2019. You guys go over to the Georgia Business Registry and look those names up. It's all public record. So again, how are you setting oil prices and running oil through the U.S., sir? Okay, let's go back, right? Let we'll clear this up. We'll clear this up later. Next question. Did he ever go? Did he ever go to the state or the country where the oil was at? Did he ever say, yo, I'm going to Nigeria or Saudi Arabia or what is it? The down by the Gulf Coast, or well, he better not say Venezuela because that's been illegal. But did he ever talk about go to where the oil was? The state or the country?
No, never. Never. He was always
Okay. Okay, how about this? How about something simpler, right? Because again, I'm intrigued now, and I'll do my own investigation. You guys get ready for a follow up on this expose because I do know about commodities and a little bit about oil, just a little bit, but I'll brush up, right? What did his office look like?
Oh, this sounds so bad now. Um, he has the corner office. It's beautiful. It's bright. It's made of all glass. He has the
Okay.
corner office, and it has to the right.
Is WeWork written on the door? Shared office space? Is that written on the door?
It has nothing written on the door. It has
Oh,
210 written on the door.
okay. Okay.
Um, it has a printer.
Okay. That's moving in the right
Yes,
direction.
Falynn, stop. It has to the right. It has a printer.
So you walk in and it's all glass and there's nothing written on the door. You look to the right, you see a printer. Okay, what else? What else we got?
And to the left, it has a desk.
Okay, that's a step in the right direction. Now, where did the what about the other employees' desks? Where were those?
Oh no, that was it.
So there was a all glass door, nothing written on it, right?
Jayla!
It sounds like we worked to me. You go in, you look to the right, you saw a printer. Was the printer sitting on something or was it on the floor?
It was sitting on like a little propped up.
An IKEA lac table. The printer was sitting on
Jayla,
the
I'm trying to be serious.
Let me stop. Let me be serious. This is my big interview. So it was sitting on an IKEA lac table, maybe, right? Okay, so it was sitting on a table, the printer, and then there was a desk in it, and that's all there was in an office that he was setting oil prices and trading oil. I'm
There was a
Alan. How old were you when you met this man? Or were you just
26. I was 26. Okay, I didn't know. I
Okay.
didn't know.
You know what?
Toy kept me very sheltered. Okay, listen. There were many, many, many men in the industry that tried to talk to me. And my sister, through my sister, and my sister would always say, "Hell no, I'll kill you! Like, get the fuck away from my sister!" You know. And I was very sheltered. I never even knew. She just recently told me about all these men that tried to talk to me. I never even knew. Okay, this was the first man. I met him on my own. Had I met him through her, she would have never approved. But I met him on
Listen,
my own, and she couldn't stop him. So.
listen, all joking aside, you guys, I'm really dragging Fallon for no reason because honestly, I just found out about oil, black market oil, all this stuff just by chance 5 or 6 years ago. And prior to that, if you had told me, if somebody had been like, I dabble in oil, I'd be like, oh, okay, because that's not my thing, right? So 5 or 6 years ago, I learned about OPEC, black market oil, all this stuff, buying, selling. I learned about all that stuff. So okay, fountain. All right, all right. Most people don't know about oil. It's like somebody talking about people in the stock market and someone saying I'm buying and trading stocks and I'm a day trader. if you knew anything about day trading, I mean, really knew past whatever, the era of the day traders over, because what they did with the hedge funds on, they created software that literally trades at 1 billionth of a second, buying second. So there's no way a human can actually day trade and make money. In the 90s you could do, but then they wrote software to push people out. So industries, somebody saying I'm a day trader, so you don't make any money because it's stacked against you. There's no way you can make money unless you're inside trading. Okay, so fine. To me, it looks fugazi. I don't know. Maybe he was running a multi-million-dollar oil company by himself and one employee. Inquiring minds would say, how the hell did he have time to put you on blast on his birthday? Because who was checking the oil prices and who was running everything? Again, inquiring minds want to know. Okay, so listen, let's switch to something a little bit happier, right? A little birdie told me there was a little chatter, right? Tell me what you can. Tell me to mind my business if you want. That you, your family, Jalen, your man, maybe some, maybe all the above, might be making a return to our TV screens. Yes, I know you're wondering how I found that out. Girl, I was in your
You
trash.
always know everything. Stay away.
A little birdie told me that. Do you think it's true? Do you think it's coming? What's going on with that? Do you want to tell us something? You want to make an announcement now, or do I got to go through your trash and find out what's going on?
No, it's not that. There's certain people watching and certain people copying every little thing that I say and do. So we're gonna keep it on hush, but we'll see what the future holds.
Yo, House of Glam said, was it a Toshiba laptop or a MacBook that Simon was using? Do you remember? Was it a Hewlett Packard ThinkPad with like the tracker ball broken? Because you know Simon's an old head, right? What did his
It was
laptop he actually?
it was an old school desktop from Apple. It was old.
Y'all, don't y'all ever doubt me. I want my flowers now. Listen, you guys, listen. Okay, so it was old. You didn't answer the question about when or how you'd be returning to reality TV. So we'll leave it at that. Hopefully we
It's
see some good things. I would love to see that doll face on TV and actually see something positive because again, much blessings to you. People take it as a joke, but much blessings to you that you actually survived a narc relationship. And most people don't realize, so if you know anything about psychology, leaving a narc relationship is just the first step. You then have to go through the PTSD. So the fact
yeah.
that you were pregnant going through it, you had the world on your head, you had to raise 3 young boys. Thank God you had Jalen, but I'm sure there were stresses in that relationship until you guys smooth it out. So people think just leave. It's like living in any abusive relationship. That's the first step. You still got to keep walking. So kudos to you that you pulled through and made it through.
Thank you. It was very hard. I think that what Jalen made me remember is that I was that thing before there was ever a Simon, and that I
Mhm.
just had to remember that I was a savage and I didn't need him or any other man.
Mhm.
And after I started remembering who I was before that and what made him attracted to me from the beginning, um, it was after, of course, using therapy as well. It was all downhill from there. It was not necessarily easy, but it was easier. Having
Okay.
Jalen by my side, who was also my best friend, and actually saw everything that was going on behind closed doors that a lot of people didn't get to see, even our close friends. Nobody really knows what it was that I was going through. And just knowing that I am enough, and I'm not just enough, I'm more than enough.
She's enough just for me.
You know what? Because
I
I'm
know that's
already
right.
like, this don't got nothing to do with you. Get
I
back
know
up
that's right.
here.
All right. Listen, I know that's right. Listen, let me tell you something. I love a love story. The fact that it's in our community is even better. I love the fact you guys are making it. I love the fact you bounce back and you're looking better than ever. And that beautiful smile has never left your face. So kudos to you. You guys, really quick, because I've had her on here for so long. We got 7 minutes. Drop your questions in the chat. Y'all don't embarrass me. Be respectful. You can ask anything, but make sure you're respectful. Don't embarrass me. Drop your questions in the chat. We got 7 minutes. Let's see what's going on. Who has questions? A lot of congratulations, a lot of love. Who has
Yes,
questions?
thank you
Let's see
so
the
much.
question. Listen, you
Thank
got a lot of love, a lot of congratulations. You know what I will say since I've been on YouTube, and I'll say this for the people watching playback. Had no idea how much a lot of people's negative comments are really paid trolls. There are people making up fake accounts. They are people, and when I say paid trolls, I mean a concerted effort. And since I've been on YouTube, whenever I maybe comment on someone that's like a little bit, you get swarmed by these trolls. So I knew it, but it didn't shock me that but it did shock me that so much negative comments are really paid trolls in this concerted effort. But even against these paid trolls, which I'm convinced they were, you guys got so much love and so much support. And I think a lot of women have been through what you've been through, and your honesty. You never claimed to be an angel. You said, and this is the thing. People are like, oh, you talking about Simon. How come you don't talk about Falynn? Y'all, if you guys watch my channel, you know I have. But you always was like, all right, we both messy. Okay, hands up. You got me. Now what? Now what? Next question. You were
Yep.
honest, always honest about what was going on. So at the end of the day, you live by your thing. Nobody can tell your truth if you just tell your truth for yourself. So
Absolutely. Absolutely. I will never claim to be something that I'm not. And I am not, I don't believe anybody's an angel, but I for damn sure am not an angel. Guys, I am saying it out loud and proud. I am not an angel. However, I take life as what it is, and whatever it throws at me, I try to make those lemons and turn them into lemonade. That's all I try to do, guys. That's the best we can do. I'm not perfect. I'm gonna mess up. And I want to speak on my imperfections because a lot of other people have made the same imperfections as I have, and the mistakes as I have. So long as I'm able to speak that loud, clear, and freely, I'm happy. I hope that everybody can take something from it.
all right, I love that. I just want to give a shout out real quick to the real Abiola, my girl. You finally joined, and just a tea, please. Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. So, listen, AC wants to know: is there anything you would have done differently as it relates to Portia or Real Housewives of Atlanta? Not implying regret, just if you could make any changes, minor or major.
I would not say that the end result, the end result, that's not even over. The end goal would be the same. However, I would not have joined the show. No. As much as he pressured me to do the show, the end result, it just wasn't worth it because of our children mostly. But I would not have done the show. No. It's crazy. I'm very big on stating when people ask me, is there anything in life that you've ever regretted? I'm very big on saying, no, there's nothing in life that I've ever regretted because, I wouldn't take back anything because it came with a learning lesson. This life experience has came with so many different life experiences all in one while being pregnant. It was horrible. It was absolutely horrible. I didn't say anything because there was so much to say that it would have never come off right had I said it. So I had to choose power in silence. And I found out that there's a lot of power in silence by being silent, by choosing to be silent. However, if I could go back and choose, I would have not done the show and allowed how our marriage would have ended, however it ended. It would have ended for sure because I was growing into a woman and
Mm-hmm.
he did not like um, the woman I was growing into, which was anything outside of him.
Which was growing away from him. Listen, let's do some lightning rounds because we just have like a few minutes left, right? Marva Smith. Hey, Marva, you've been a member for 3 months. You said, do you think Portia was seeing Simon when she came to your house?
What did they say?
Do you think Portia was seeing Simon when she came to your house?
Yes, absolutely, 100%. Simon started acting weird in December. That lets me know that he was already dealing with someone way prior to December.
Oh, so you do think that scene when they came over the house and filming, there was already something on and popping. Okay, so how about
When
this? Okay, so what about this? Do you think Latoya knew about Portia and Simon? And do you think that's the reason Latoya was going so hard at you?
Absolutely. I think Latoya knew. I think Marlo knew. I love Marlo, but there's certain people who just don't want to get caught up in certain business. I don't want to be caught up in certain business. Don't hate
Mhm.
Marlo for it. Latoya's the one who came out and was like, nah, 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 nah. So if anything, that's not cool. But I think there were a few people actually that knew, but they just did not want to be attached to that because it wasn't their business to tell. And you're right. Like if I were thrown in the middle, it's not my business to tell. I'm not going to tell nobody because it might not be true. And then I'm over here looking crazy. You never know. But I think other people knew. Yeah, absolutely.
I mean,
Yeah.
Shamia didn't mind being caught in it. She said that they hooked them up. But listen, here's the thing, right? Um, why do you think, if that's the case and Latoya knew this and that, why do you think that Latoya commented on your post saying something nice?
I don't speak crazy. I don't know. If I don't fuck with you, listen, let me try not to curse. I'm sorry.
It's okay. It's
If
my
I don't
share.
mess with you, I don't mess with you. There's no listen. I'm a Taurus. There's no in between. There's no. It's either 0 or 100. There's no in between. I don't know why she was trying to be nice to me. I don't know. I don't rock with her. That's why I didn't respond because I don't rock with you. You
Okay.
call me out my name. You call me out my name, and not for nothing. For me inviting you to my house. You called me out my name and you called my husband whatever it was that you may have heard, may didn't hear. I don't know if you had like repressed feelings for him for what he was doing, and maybe that's just why she came out the way she did. I don't
Now
know, but I
tell.
never done anything to that person. If there's it, I'm just the type of person, unless you attack me, I will never have anything negative to say about you. So
Mm,
I don't know why she came for me. I don't know.
okay. Let me ask you this. Did Miss Diane or Miss Gina, Dennis's mom, ever reach out to you or contact you?
Um, no. Mm-mm.
Do you think that Portia dropped nuggets to Latoya to break up your household?
I don't put anything past that cast. I
Okay.
don't put anything past, more so, I don't put anything past the producers.
Okay, that's pretty interesting. Now, here's the thing, right? Just to let you guys know, or actually, Fallon, tell us, is this going to be the last time you speak on this unless something else comes out? Meaning, am I going to have the last exclusive? Unless something else comes out.
You were the very last. I wanted
The
to be able
last
to
of the
come out and
Mohicans.
say, yes, I wanted to be able to come out and say any and everything and answer any of you guys' questions, even not the oh so favorable ones. I want to answer them, because I understand that I was in the public eye and I wasn't able to give you that full scope of answers, that full detailed insider of all of those answers to your burning questions the way I truly wanted to. And I wanted to.
Yeah.
Um, truly the way I wanted to, because I was pregnant and I had to protect, me going into labor early or me stressing out too much. When you're
Girl,
pregnant,
that's a
you're not
sacred.
worried about yourself. You're worried about your baby. And that's all I was doing.
Mhm.
So I wanted to be able to come out and tell you guys. And I know that Tisa, she's so loving, but at the same time, she will play devil's advocate and she will ask you guys' questions without any remorse whatsoever. But because she comes correct, I wanted to be able to share that with you guys and with her because she actually knows how to ask. So yeah, that's why I decided to come on here and, give you guys a bit of an insight of what it was like going through all of that while pregnant.
Yeah.
But I don't hold, like I said from the very beginning, what I want you guys to take from this is that I don't hold anyone responsible for anything. Simon,
Okay.
except for Simon and I, Simon is responsible for how he treated me and the way and when he wanted to divorce because he's the one who filed twice. I am responsible for leaving. And however, whatever it is that we agreed upon within our separation is what we agreed upon, you guys. Um, However, it is that him and Portia got together, that's how they got together. How I got
Mm.
pregnant, that's how I got pregnant.
Okay.
And I don't want anybody to bash anybody. However, I think what really upsets people or what keeps coming to the forefront, what makes this all come to the forefront is someone else speaking about me whenever they're asked a direct question about their relationship and how they got together. They use deflection and use
Mm.
me and my relationship as deflection, as a tactic, you know.
Mm.
Uh,
Yeah.
and that's not right. Guys, if you want to ask me something about Simon and Portia, I'll answer it the best I can. I can only answer from what I know on my side. I don't know nothing about them.
That's a
I
very
don't.
grown, mature answer. I mean, I listen. 3 more questions, and then we can go. Did Simon ever have a talk to you about his Nigerian customs and side bitches? Did you guys ever have that conversation that because he's Nigerian, he gets to have as many side B's as he needs? Did you guys ever have that conversation?
I wish Simon would have ever whispered those words out of his mouth to me. He wouldn't be here today.
Okay. Okay. Now, there's a quote I actually saw thinking about, right? And it reminded me of everything. If you know anything about psychology, you've probably heard this before. And it reminded me of everything that we've seen transpire in the last 6 months. And it said, no one can throw a bigger tantrum than a narcissist who's losing control of someone else's mind.
That is my life.
That
Yes.
was, yes. No one can throw a bigger tantrum. Now, I will say also, last question. When do you think we're going to see baby Emma?
Oh, you guys will see her. Don't get me wrong. Yeah, I know we're hiding her right now, and that's only because she's very young, and a lot of people are a lot of people in the media are attaching my birth to Simon.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know when I'm going to feel okay to bring her out into the world. At some point, I will be. It may be next month, it may be next week, it may be 5 years from now. I don't know. But so long as they're attaching my child to this person who keeps mentioning my child, I don't even know you, first of all. Like, don't mention my baby. And then to this person who, you know, um, who made my children gravitate towards him and then just ditched them out of nowhere from two toxic people. You have to imagine that I would not want my newborn baby a part of this. I'm already trying to get my older children, they're older. They're 15 and 13. And I'm
Mm-hmm.
trying to get them out of the media and trying to get them who went from a normal life to telling them, on social media and stuff like that, to telling them, don't worry about this, don't worry about what people say. That's not true.
Yeah.
You are, you're a great person, all these things that they see. And I have to constantly hold their hand and walk them through all of this. And then a man just ditching them out of nowhere. To my
Yeah.
9-year-old who's known his daddy as 4 years old. He's known him as his daddy since he was 4. He had just turned 4, actually. And now he's 9. And you're nowhere to be found. And not only that, he sees that you're ignoring his text messages. I mean, I'm not in a rush to introduce my youngest child, to social media. You have to imagine, especially with what it comes with. My child, my baby, is not his. I will say that. She is not his. And if Jalen and I do agree to bring her out into the media at some point, it would be very big. But we're still trying to see what that looks like for our family.
That's an honest, fair answer. Like you said, you guys have been through a lot. And at the end of the day, it is your family. You don't owe us anything. And your pregnancy announcement was already taken out of your hands. So whenever you're ready to, we are going to love to see the baby, And I'm sure she is a gorgeous child. But you guys heard it. Nobody's asking for paternity. Paternity's already been established. And the person that it was rumored was asking for paternity, quiet as it's kept, couldn't even have the child even if he wanted to. So, yes. So it looks like all the streets are safe. Paternity has been established. And thank you so much, Falynn. Before we go, the floor is yours. Is there anything else that you've been so open? Like I said, Falynn, it's like, not to quote Erica Jane, but the beautiful mess. You're just like, this is me. This is me. Take it how you want it. You're not going to have one up on me. I'll tell you my truth. And then we can be like, okay, so what's going on? Anything you want us to know that's happening, that's coming up? We see Jalen hovered in the background, Scorpio King, like.
He's over here like, and then say. I'm like, what? I can't even hear you. I don't even know what you're saying. And then, I'm like, oh my God. There's so much that Jalen wants to say. And poor Jalen. The reason why a lot of people don't know is that the reason why Jalen is so invested outside of being my man, is because he was brought into the middle of this too. His character was lied upon. And he was the one who was sitting there texting Simon saying, like, don't mess this up, calling him saying, like, yo, I love you, bro. Like, don't fall for this, don't fall for that. And, really being his friend and my friend. And Simon was behind closed doors saying, don't be friends with him. No. La, la, la. And then comes out to the forefront saying that we were cheating when we didn't.
Yeah.
How we fell in love is how we fell in love. It fucking sucks, but, to him, I guess. But what you did sucks too. So that's why I made that post like, well, we both ate shit then, because it sucked to both of us. However, Jalen was there for you. Y'all had a friendship outside of me. And you trusted him so much to the point where you trusted him with private things that Jalen still has told me that he knows private things, but he still won't tell me because
does he really?
Jalen is a Scorpio.
Does he really? Isn't that interesting? Wow.
You can pry it out of him.
Looks like our business is not over yet. So listen, before we go,
I will tell you one thing.
What?
My home office has more than Simon's office does.
So listen,
I didn't say it.
Our business might not be over yet. Really quick, Falynn, before we take it out, can you join me in the put it in and make it want to marry me? Put it in and make it want to marry me. Put it in and make it want to marry me. Put it in and make it want to marry me.
Oh my God. Everyone loves that damn dance. Oh my God. They love it. They love it. They love it. I
saw your whole family breaking it down. Like,
the older ones, they know exactly where it comes from. and they love some Tisa, and they're like, oh yes, tell them how our mommy is. They love it, they love it, they love it.
But listen, thank you so much, Falynn. Thank you so much for even letting us have her. Jalen, we see the Scorpio King hovering like, what? I'm sorry I had to get a little bit below the belt. I hope but we just had to get to the truth. So many things were going around, and you were so honest and so forthcoming. So appreciate it. Before I go, hold on, I had one thing, right? Before you guys go, make sure you subscribe to Falynn and Jalen's channel. They took a little break. As you know, she created a life, brought some more beauty into this world, but they are coming back better than ever. Make sure you hit their channel up. Production's great. Everything's great on this channel. I strive for that level of production. But listen, you guys hit it up. They have some really cool things coming up on their channel. And quiet as it's kept, my little birdies are saying you guys are going to be returning to the screen sooner than we think. But we'll wait and see. I don't want to mess anything up, but we'll wait and see. But my little birdies say there is something coming up. So we'll wait and see, okay?
Yes.
Make sure you guys subscribe. And for those of you guys watching it on playback, I'm going to put a link to the channel in the description box and in the comment section, in the pinned comments, so you guys can find them. But Falynn, why don't you tell them your channel?
My channel is Falynn Pina, guys. That's FALYNN So
That's right.
I hope to see you all there. I love shouting you guys out when I do my lives on Tuesdays. So every single Tuesday, I will be going live with you all. I took a break for a while because I was pushing out life, but now I am back, and I can't wait to answer any more other questions and to do my skincare lives with you guys. That's what's coming next.
All righty, you guys. All right. Thank you, everybody. And listen, thank you for everybody that liked this video. I know I have like about 2,000 likes. And for the other 1,600 of you guys that are in here that didn't like, y'all ain't seeing heaven. But it's cool. Hope you enjoyed it. It's still not too late to like the video. But thank you, everybody. And Falynn, Jalen, thank you so. And also, baby Emma. I guess we should be thanking her. She's a real MVP. Okay. Thanks, everybody. Talk to you later. Bye, Falynn. Bye-bye. All right, y'all. Thank you so much for joining. Y'all hit the like button, subscribe, join my live. I got some new gossip for Friday. Y'all, I came through with the Falynn. I came through with all that stuff. We got some new gossip, not Falynn related, because there's other people cutting up in the streets. But I hope that answered all your questions. We might do a recap tomorrow if you guys want to kind of like dish and like whatever. And you guys make sure you follow Falynn's channel. It's Falynn Pina, FALYNNPINA. And I'm going to put the link in the description box and in the comment box. All right. Talk to you later. Thank you for rocking with me, Tattle Tells. Talk to you guys later.